Welcome to beautiful Helena, Montana and Nelson Stadium for today's pivotal Frontier Conference matchup between the visiting Battling Bears of Rocky Mountain College at 4-3 on the season and the hometown Fighting Saints of Carroll College at 2-4. Peter Young along with former college coach Sean Kraft. And Sean, when these two teams faced each other about a month ago, the storyline was first-year head coach Jason Petrino at Rocky, who played for Coach Van Diest here at Carroll. That storyline is still in play, but it's taken a backseat to the fact that we have two teams headed in very different directions.
No question, anytime you get a Petrino-led football team coming into Helena, Montana to play a Van Diest-led football team, it's going to dominate storylines. That aside, those two individuals will be the first ones to admit it, that this team is about a Rocky Mountain team fighting for playoffs as we speak today, day in, day out, week in, week out. That's where they have to go. But also it's a Van Diest-led team that's trying to find itself for the offseason and recruiting and really get some momentum in for next year.
Well, for Rocky Mountain, the last 2 weeks, it's been a bit of an up and down game. They lost a big lead against Southern Oregon, and then last week they had to come from behind in the fourth quarter to beat MSU Northern. So one of their keys today, Sean, is they have to play consistent for 60 minutes.
Yeah, that's Coach Speak 101, and Coach Petrino will be the first one to say it. We need to start, or they need to start, I should say, really from snap to whistle and from the opening gun. And it's going to be a tough environment to do that. And also, both teams need to protect the quarterback. And when you start looking at this, both guys are going to come in banged up. We might see as many as 4 quarterbacks on both sides of the football. So really a couple different aspects that they both got to look at.
Well, you ask Coach Van Diest every game, he is going to tell you one of their keys is to establish the run. And yet, Sean, they haven't done that all year.
No, Coach Van Diest lives on 3 core principles. One is to play sound defense, field position football, and that includes the special teams. But the next thing is to establish the run on offense and really a ball control, grinded out offensive style. And Coach Howlett and Coach Van Diest talk about that a lot. So look for them to do that. They have to manufacture some schemes to get that done today, but that is a key to today.
Well, Rocky over the last 2 weeks has provided some fireworks on the special teams with 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown. We'll see if they can provide another one today. Stay with us. We're going to take a break. The kickoff from sunny Nelson Stadium right after this.
Truck Month. Time to see all the ways Ford F-Series comes in first. F-150, your first choice for safety. The first and only light-duty pickup with an available EcoBoost engine. And first and only pickup with Pro Trailer Backup Assist. So when there's a truck with all these firsts, why waste a second on anyone else? During Truck Month, get 0% financing for 72 months or up to $10,773 in total value on F-150. See your local Ford store today.
I maintain my focus just by working my hardest in absolutely everything I do.
In the classroom, on the court, at practice, wherever you're at.
My classes are very rigorous.
At the same time, you need to be able to stay focused and make the right choices and stay on top of things.
Tobacco use would definitely be a negative effect on a student athlete.
Using tobacco really decreases the performance of any athlete.
I wouldn't be able to dance. I wouldn't be able to hang out with my friends. I wouldn't be able to hike the M. I think that it would make me less of a focused student.
Distract me from my sport and distract me from my academics.
I'm focused on a tobacco-free generation.
Excited about Bobcat season? Trust us, so are we. Sometimes game day just can't get here soon enough. You could show up 12 hours before kickoff to show your colors, or you could get the new Bobcat banking card from First Interstate Bank. Find out more at bobcatbanking.com.
This is an Abbey pizza. Mushrooms, chicken, roasted red peppers, and olives.
This is the Kendall pizza. Pepperoni, sausage, Canadian bacon, and black olives.
This is the Big Dave and Paula pizza. Mine is chicken and Gouda.
Mine's red sauce, big cheese, big meat, big everything.
Come discover your pizza among the 104,285,000 different combinations, or you can choose one of our 10 signature pizzas on the menu at Bert and Ernie's, located in downtown Helena.
Both teams have taken to the field, and we await the national anthem, the coin toss, and we could not ask for much better weather than today. Mid-50s, a little bit of a breeze, sunshine, and Saturday afternoon here in Montana. It does not get much better than this, Sean. You look at the Frontier Conference standings coming into today. We're not used to seeing this, a Carroll team that is near the bottom of the standings at 2-4. And then you look at Rocky at 4-2. Now they're 4-3 overall. They had that loss to an Division I team, FCS. But those 4 wins are against Carroll. The rest of their schedule from here on out for Rocky is going to get much, much tougher. We will talk a bit more about the standings coming up, but right now we are going to go down to the field level and listen in for today's national anthem. So the Fighting Saints in the home purple and black with the gold helmets, and the Battling Bears of Rocky making the drive over from Billings are in the green pants and the white tops. Sean, again, this is a rematch of a game that took place back on September 10th. Carroll got on top early, and then Rocky came back in the fourth quarter with a couple scores. It was the first touchdown of the game. Carroll scored and got that extra point blocked and ended up losing 21-20. They win that game. They're 2-0 after that huge upset win at home against Montana Tech. It could be a different season for Carroll right now.
No question, Peter. Football, the game itself, momentum swings, and the season itself, it's a long season. It's another momentum swing that, as you just mentioned, Carroll could have gained a lot more confidence and started to go into the year really looking at a conference championship like they do year in and year out. And now here they are fighting for just momentum and trying to work into the recruiting season, so to speak. But don't tell the coaches and the players that for today.
If we can, let's look at the Frontier Conference standings again, because you look at Montana Tech. Their defense has been absolutely outstanding this year. The one loss was the game here to start the season, where they had really been dominating 3.5 quarters of the game. With about 9 minutes to go, they were 2 scores up on Carroll. J.T. Linder caught fire, and then as time expired, Carroll kicks the 45-yarder to win their game. It's not good when the highlight of your season is in week 1 for Carroll, right? Ever since then, it's been a tough go, and conversely for Montana Tech, they have just been shellacking the rest of the conference. And you look at Rocky, probably their biggest win of the season, was that week 2 when they got that win. They christened that new field at Herb Clint Stadium with the new turf, which just looks fantastic. And Coach Van Diest is he's a traditionalist. And he still has the grass here at Nelson Stadium, but it looks great.
Yeah, and circling back to those standings, Peter, when you start looking at, it's no coincidence that the top 2 teams also have Zach Barlow and Quinn McQuarrie, two of the top signal callers, and that's what we're going to see. One of the real keys today is how does the quarterback situation play out for both teams today? We might have some injuries on both sides. We might see as many as we mentioned earlier, 4 quarterbacks, and watching warm-ups today, you and I watching pregame warm-ups, they got multiple quarterbacks out there slinging the ball around. So we'll see kind of on who the coaches are going to decide it, because now they have to tip their hand here in a few minutes.
Yeah, Chase White is the starter, the senior starter for the Battling Bears. He's had an excellent career. He got his ribs hurt in the last game against MSU Northern, and Jacob Bakken finished the game out. We have been told that it will be Bakken who's going to get the start. JT Linder, I don't think he even suited up today for Carroll. They are, quote-unquote, hoping to have him back before the season is out. That's kind of the same story we are hearing from Kyle Griffith as well, who got hurt in that College of Idaho game. Coach Mike Van Diest, in his 18th season, was thrilled to have Kyle Griffith back along with Connor Phone. Those two guys are their star receivers who missed much of last year. 192 wins and only 40 losses for Coach Van Diest. It's been a spectacular career, although these last 2 years have been very different in Helena. And Coach Van Diest's first season here in Helena, well, that guy right there, Jason Petrino, was one of his captains. This is his first season as head coach at Rocky Mountain. 4-2 in conference play. He is 4-3 overall. Early on, they went up to FCS and played at the University of Northern Colorado and really got shellacked. We don't see much of that with the Frontier Conference, Sean, where teams are going up to kind of get that payday. But Rocky was one of the teams that did it this year. I think there's only 2.
Yeah, you're exactly right. As we get ready for kickoff, always a chance or an opportunity to, number one, get that payday, but also to kind of get a litmus test of where you're going to stack up into this tough conference. And the Frontier Conference is, and we'll see it again today.
And we are underway here at Nelson Stadium. Ed Carroll's going to take a knee, and it will be Carroll ball to start things off. The wind is blowing a bit across the field. And the Carroll offense today is going to be in the hands of Tanner Gustafson, the junior out of Boise, Idaho. And Ryan Walsh will get the start. The tight ends for Carroll, they don't get a whole lot of touches, mostly in there to block. And the leading rusher so far this year is Major Ali, the redshirt freshman, who doesn't start. And it will be Walsh, and it is 1st and 10 from the 25. Gustafson's first pass is a completion, and a nice gain on first down.
Yeah, a great job by Coach Howlett and Coach Van Diest and the staff. You want it. You hear it a lot. You want a quarterback to get into a comfort zone, and a nice little swing pass or a bubble screen out is a great way to do that. And you'll see that right there as far as able to hit him in the flat. Great block on the outside, able to pick up a nice yardage, and now it's second and manageable as you start moving the chains is what you're looking to do on the first possession.
Catch made by Troy Arnson, the sophomore, right from Helena. 7 players from Helena on the Carroll roster as it's 2nd and 3. Gustafson rolls out. 2 for 2. They got a first down.
Yeah, again, going out, making it real comfortable, rolling him out, max protecting, and then running a corner route by the inside slot. And as you can see, the running back is in, holding point, getting the edge. Once you get the edge, then things open up a lot for your vision as a quarterback. And there he's able to take the little check down, but moves the chains, and it's a good start for the quarterback position for Carroll.
Connor Phone, one of the top receivers in the nation, leads Carroll now with 44 catches on the season. First handoff of the game, and this is what Coach Van Diest would like to see. You get some positive yardage on first down on the ground, and you're going to make Gustafson's job a bit easier.
Yeah. Both teams implement the similar style offense formation-wise, a 3-receiver or a 3-wide set, but Carroll's philosophy is a little more power zone. We want to get back, Coach Howlett, they want to get back into running that football out of that zone read or run pass options, and right there you see it. They're going to try and keep pounding that into the stomach of the Rocky defense.
Little sweep for Phone. Follows 1 or 2 blockers. You got to get to about the 49-yard line for the first down, and he got close. It's going to be 3rd and short.
Yeah, Phone has been just a phenomenal player for these guys, using him in the fly sweep package, using him as the little hitch, the dump route. He's a real safety valve. You start to use the tight end a lot more in a pro-style set. Well, these guys use him a lot in that H-back moving around, and here he's flanked all the way out to the bottom of the screen here.
3rd and 2. Phone in motion again. Gustafson under center, play action. And he misses his target intended for Phone. He had him open, and he could have had a first down. Instead, it's going to be a punting situation. And one of the bright spots for Carroll this year in terms of their special teams play has been number 13, Dylan Torgerson, the junior, averaging nearly 43 yards a punt. Low snap, but a beauty. Fair catch at about the 15-yard line. So another beautiful punt from Torgerson, but it's a 3-and-out for the Carroll offense. It has been tough sledding this year for their offense, averaging under 20 points a game. So we get our first look at the Rocky Mount offense. Chase White again banged up a week ago with the bruised ribs. Cody Varner has emerged as the leading rusher this year for Rocky Mountain, senior from Baker, Montana. And it is Jacob Bakken, a tall, lean drink of water in there, quarterback for the Battling Bears, and they hand off to Varner on first down as the Battling Bears move the pile.
Yeah, look for Rocky, as we just mentioned when we were watching our first series of the Carroll. Rocky's also going to come out with a 3-receiver set. But as you mentioned, Bakken, 6'5", 205. He's a sophomore from Webo, handing the ball off. Now Varner from Baker, he's going to be able to be that power running back that they're, really the Carroll wants to establish. And let's see now if the Rocky team can start to spread them out. That's what their ultimate goal is to get the ball on the outside.
2nd and 5. Bakken's going to hand it off to Varner, trying to the outside, breaks one tackle, and he maybe lost a yard or two on the play. Good pursuit by the Carroll defense.
Yeah, Coach Van Diest is going to be real happy with that. His ultimate goal on defense is let's start with taking away the run and owning that box, that tackle-to-tackle box that people call it. He wants to own that, force you into the passing situation, which Rocky shouldn't be adverse to, but he's at least going to take away part of the game.
Bakken to throw. This is only his 7th throw of the season, going deep. And a flag is down. The intended receiver was Kalen Reed, the big target at 6'4", 210. And Bakken overthrew him, but we got our first penalty of the game.
Yeah, you're going to see here, that was on the far Rockies for it, coming right at him. So they were all calling for it. But right away, really setting it up. And what Carroll needs to do is take away that run from Varner, but then it turns around and goes into that deep throw down the sidelines, and it looked like the DB was in phase, but he just at the last moment must have been trying to push him a little bit too much to get him off the, out of bounds for the incompletion.
So that moves the chains. The drive continues for Rocky. It's 1st down and 10 on the 34-yard line, and I got to thank the coaching staff along with Coach Petrino, breathing a huge sigh of relief. Their young quarterback, it's only his 7th throw of the season, and they got that nice penalty. So it is 1st and 10, a bit of a miscommunication between Varner and Bakken, and that might be a loss of about a yard or 2 on the play.
Yeah, you can see there's the senior Chase White with him being out, and it thrust onto the shoulders of Bakken, the young Class C signal caller. They're going to try and use a steady dose of Varner, and right there you can see just some miscommunication in the backfield, and that's going to happen now, as you know that he hasn't got a ton of reps throughout the year being running with the first teamers.
McBride Galt there for the tackle, the sophomore from Helena. So 2nd and 11, just underway here at Nelson Stadium. Bakken to throw, and he escapes one tackle. And now he is going to scamper and actually make a nice gain on 2nd down. Could have been a sack and a big loss. And that will get Coach Van Diest jawing at some of his defenders.
Exactly. That's one of the things that they're looking at is he, as you look back on the drop back, they had him wrapped up and dead to rights, and his long legs, he can cover the ground, and he made it 3rd and manageable now. Now the playbook's opened up.
3rd and 4. Rolling out. Dangerous throw, nearly intercepted. 2 Carroll players there. McBride Galt's got 2 picks on the season. Could have had a 3rd. Well, that was an interesting drive for the Rocky Mountain offense. I mentioned the coach is having a nice sigh of relief. I think they just had another big sigh of relief right there.
Well, you can see he hasn't got a lot of reps, and Bagan, as he rolled out, you'd like to hit that out there in the third or fourth step and really throw that to the flat and just move the chains, and he kind of held onto the ball too long, and to Carroll's advantage there, threw it into some coverage.
So 4th and 4, 10:51 on the clock here in the first quarter. And a line drive punt, and this one's going to bounce into the end zone. And so it is a no score here. It will be Carroll ball when we come back. 10:42 left in the first on this beautiful afternoon in Helena.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too, out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, we believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put him to work.
When traveling through Montana's capital city, make your lodging destination the Comfort Suites in Helena, Montana. We are centrally located on I-15 and US Highway 12 and close to the midway point between Yellowstone and Glacier National Parks. A full day of adventures means starting the day off right with a complimentary hot and delicious breakfast. Spacious guest rooms, internet access, business center, indoor pool and fitness center, and much more. Call us at 406-495-0505 or visit us online at comfortsuiteshelena.com.
At Pizza Hut, we've got a carry-out deal just for you. Any pizza, any size, any crust, and any topping for just $10. You want a large hand-tossed pepperoni and mushroom? $10. Or maybe you're a large pan supreme kind of person. $10. Thinking about a combination of your own? Well, that's $10 too. That's any pizza, any size, any crust, and any topping for just $10. And get stuffed crust for just $2 more. This $10 carry-out deal ends soon, so hurry to Pizza Hut today.
Carroll ball, 10:42 to go here in the first. Peter Young along with Sean Kraft, thanks for spending your Saturday with us. No score. Both teams have had one possession. A 3 and out for Carroll, and now on their second possession of the ball game. Gustafson with a scramble is going to pick up about 4 yards.
Yeah, they got, again, trying to make it, take the heat and take the pressure off the signal caller from Boise. Running a little fly sweep with Green, a little run pass option aspect, boots him out. He's able to see the field. In that case, you always want to just not make a bad play worse. Great coverage by Rocky downfield. Tuck it, run, see what you can get, and at least stay in the game.
And they give him 2, so it's 2nd down and 8. Handoff, left side. Pile still moving up to about the 28-29 yard line. First down is at the 30, so it'll be a 3rd and short. And again, we don't want to belabor the point too much, but we've got 2 backup quarterbacks in here today, Sean. So the coaches like to see that 3rd and short.
Yeah, definitely. As you can see right there, moving the pile, that was Ryan Walsh pushing and keeping the legs churning. And once that thing gets to 3rd and 1 to 3 or 3rd and 4, real manageable distance, the playbook's open for Coach Howlett. And conversely, on the other side, Rocky's going to start bringing more pressure to see if they can get him under some duress.
Shift everybody around right before the snap. 3rd and 1. Handoff. Nowhere to go. And he is going to go down for a loss on the play. Great pursuit by that Rocky defense.
Yeah.
And Preston Pearson, the senior, tackle.
Yeah, the Helena Capital product here showing up for Rocky. But, that's a type of play. It's an outside zone or a stretch type play, man blocking. And Rocky just got great penetration off the ball, started pushing him into the backfield. No room, nowhere to go, and sets up a punting situation into this wind. We'll see if special teams, how this plays out.
2nd 3 and out for Carroll. They're going to let this one bounce right at midfield, and then takes a bit of a Carroll bounce, but still excellent field position for the Battling Bears. It will be their ball at the 42-yard line. 8:36 left in the first.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
Opportunity is everywhere. That is why I love my job at Opportunity Bank of Montana. I get to help my neighbors with business and agriculture loans, including new equipment loans. I understand that people need a bank they can rely on. You see, I grew up here with the eastern high plains out our front door and the crazy mountains in our backyard. Come see me, Brandy, or one of my colleagues at Opportunity Bank of Montana. Your local bank, your opportunity.
There are some things in life that require, demand something special.
These are the times when you must seek a steak that is truly worthy of the accomplishment at hand. And when no mere steak will do, the Silver Star Steak Company has your back. They use only the best certified Angus beef, delicately prepared with as much love as your occasion deserves.
When you deserve the best, the Silver Star Steak Company has a steak worthy of you.
8:36 to go here in the first. So far, both offenses have been off to a bit of a sputtering start, and that's kind of the way it's been all season for both of these teams. Carroll currently 6th in the Frontier Conference in total offense, and Rocky 7th. And again, both teams starting the backup quarterback. First completion of the game. Check that. Bakken still looking for his first completion of the afternoon.
Yeah, and those are the things that are critical. The rest of the teams really got to wrap signal caller, and when you have a slant and they threw double slants onto the outside, when you have that, you've got to come up with those catches and make it easy on him. That would have made it 2nd and 4 or 5. Now you're putting them already into a 2nd and long. They're going empty, though. Coach Petrino on that first down. Now they have 2 backs in the backfield, but you can see he's starting to unleash it a little bit as far as the formations for him.
Jace Van Zee with the drop. They're going to hand it off to Varner with a big hole up the middle. And right at about midfield, he is taken down. So it'll be another manageable 3rd and short for Rocky.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of Varner today, and that's the way it looks to be, to take the heat off number 7. Is they're going to get a steady dose on the Carroll defense at number 22 of Rocky.
Yeah, this Carroll defense has done a miserable job all year on stopping teams on 3rd down. They give it to Varner. They're going to stop him this time, though. Coming into this afternoon, Carroll's defense, Sean, is giving up a first down almost half the time. That's not good.
Yeah, anytime, and you know that's what's keeping Coach Van Diest up at night throughout the last week after week, because anytime you start climbing into those above 30 range, you're going to start falling into the middle of the pack, and at 50% you hit it. That's got to be topic number 1 in his defensive staff room.
Ty Irving with the stop, the senior from Spokane, Washington. So Johnson on to punt again for Rocky. Going to try and pin them inside the 20. Bounces at the 5 and goes into the end zone again, so it would be Carroll ball at the 20. Well, this is kind of like what we might see tonight in the National League Championship Series with the Dodgers and Cubs. You know, kind of a defensive affair, a 1-0 game going into the 9th. Who's going to score first here?
Well, this is definitely right now field position advantage Rocky. But at the end of it, if you're not taking advantage of it, like right there, you know it had to have crossed his mind with the ineptitude of really what the Carroll offense has done and what the Rocky defense can do. The 4th and 3 at the midfield might have been at least a thought sparking through his head to go for it. But instead, punts it, goes into the end zone, is not able to pin him deep. So at least Carroll's out at the 20-yard line.
7:17 to go in the first quarter. Just not seeing those big holes we used to see here at Nelson Stadium where the Dustin Rinkers and Chance Demrys wouldn't even get touched until they already had 3 or 4 yards.
You know, it's a combination, Peter, as you mentioned that. It's not only the big holes, but it's also the vision of the back. There you see the back comes up, runs right into the back of his tackle. You got to be jump cutting and making a move and really hitting those seams downhill. And that's one thing that some of the great Carroll backs of yesteryears, like the Chance you mentioned, that really had great vision and really seeing those holes open up.
Still managed to get 4 yards on first down, so it's 2nd and 6. Direct snap. to Connor Phone on the sideline, and he picks up a first down. So Coach Howlett getting a bit of creativity in his playbook as well.
Yeah, and again, there's our do-it-all, jack-of-all. Connor Phone jumps into the backfield, sets up at quarterback, the Wildcat package made famous by McFadden in Arkansas years ago. And there he goes, taking off. It's a simple outside zone play, but it just brings a different element when you get it right to the back and in his hands.
Phone is one of the most dynamic players at the NAIA level, so with kind of a green quarterback, you want to make sure you get the ball in his hands, so just snap it right to him. Here's Gustafson rolling to his left, throwing across his body. Took a shot as he released it, and it's incomplete. Seth Swandle knocked him to the ground.
Yeah, there the ball, you know, Carroll starting out on that right hash, having to roll him to the left, so already he's got to get his body around and get downhill. He never was able to do that again. Rocky with that penetration on that left side, that's what stopped him and stopped the first drive. Penetration into that outside zone. There they just try and simply roll out. Penetration again forces him to be fading into the sidelines, and he's not able to get anything on that throw.
They fake it to Phone. And Gustafson going to pick up a few yards on second down. You got to get to about the 46 of Rocky for the first, and he is going to be well short. Sets up about a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, they thought that they thought they were in man-to-man, and Phone came in the backfield, and as you can see, as he pulled it and tucked it and took off running the sidelines, the corner did not go across with Phone. He was sitting there all the way, reading it all the way. A short gain brings up 3rd and long, which we've seen on both sides, Peter. Both sides are turning around and getting into situations they don't want their quarterbacks into. Well, here's another one, and we'll see if Carroll can move the chains and solve it.
Yeah, the only first down we've seen so far was courtesy of a penalty. Pass is complete. Got a couple blockers out in front, and this is going to be close to a first down. You talked about Coach Petrino maybe gambling 4th on 4th. I don't think Coach Van Diest is going to gamble for here.
I don't know, the punting unit, yep, there he goes. You called it as they were looking at the end of the run here, and he had the little bit of more, you know, you like to see him get to the help is coming inside out. There, the help was coming that way, and you'd like to see him try and get that to the sidelines and see if he can't lower his shoulder and run behind his pads for 1 more yard, but as a result, the punting unit, the thought crossed his mind, I'm sure.
Targeson back on. Shinola back to receive. And the punt doesn't go anywhere near him. It bounces out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. Well, clearly, Coach Howlett's playbook is to get the ball into the hands of Connor Phone as often as possible. It's Rocky Ball when we come back.
Truck Month. Time to see all the ways Ford F-Series comes in first. Super Duty. First in its class in max horsepower. First in its class in standard torque. And first in its class in diesel fuel economy. So, when there's a truck with all these firsts, why waste a second on anyone else? During Truck Month, get 0% financing for 72 months or up to $8,859 total value on Super Duty. See your local Ford store today.
Get it? Got it? Good. Get a rebate up to $70 right now on your Cooper tire purchase from Tire-Emma. Choose 4 tires from our wide selection of Cooper tires in stock now, including Cooper CS3, Discoverer AT3, Weathermaster WSC, and many more. With over 150,000 tires in stock, we're sure to have your tire with the offer you don't want to miss. Up to $70 on Cooper tires at Tire-Emma. Offer ends October 31st. Get it? Got it? Good. Tire-Emma. More than just a tire store.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too. Out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, we believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put him to work.
Empty backfield for Rocky Mountain and Jacob Bakken, the redshirt sophomore from Webo, Montana. Now he's got a running back, 4 wide receivers. This is their 3rd possession, only 1 first down on a penalty, and immediately hit in the backyard. That's going to be another loss for Varner.
Well, that's a great play by the up front, the nose tackle for Carroll. It's a simple zone play. They brought Varner back into the backfield, and as you can see, he just beats him to his hat side or the play side and is able to drop him. And you can tell a little bit of how this game's going to go, Peter. Who's winning first down? Who's setting themselves up for second and third and medium? Because these guys have been in second and long and third and long. They're starting down their third possession here. They're starting to go through their playbook already.
Bo Meyer, number 32. That's the third tackle for a loss this year. Now Bakken in the shadow of his end zone going deep. Intended for Shinola, and it falls incomplete. Now it's going to be 3rd and 13.
Yeah, 3rd and 13. Wind at his back, but it'll be interesting to see down here as you can get the feel of the flow of this game. As you mentioned, it might be a Dodgers-Cubs game here tonight, and if so, then every possession is extremely valuable as far as making mistakes. So this could be a great screen or even a Varner pop draw type opportunity. But we'll see. We'll see the little bit of the confidence right now Coach Petrino has in his young signal caller right here.
3rd and 13. Throwing from the 5. Has a completion to Van Zee out to the 25-yard line. That might be a first down.
Yeah, that was great as far as he hooked up right at the chains. You can see him staring him down all the way, but he hooked up right at the chains, dove forward. Great effort there at the end to where they were able to move the chains, which is exactly what they wanted to do here to get out from underneath the shadow of their goalpost.
48.5% of the time, Carroll's opponents are converting on 3rd down. And that won't drive any coach crazy. 3.5 to go in the first. No score. Varner handoff. Might have lost another yard on the play.
Yeah, Varner coming in, really the workhorse for that Rocky backfield. Here he's taking a simple zone. I don't know. These are what they call RPOs or run pass options, and I don't know if they've unleashed Bakken to be able to pull that and throw the run or the bubble option off of that. It might be just straight handoffs to Varner as he gets a feel for the game and a flow for the tempo of how this happens. But Carroll's front on defense is playing lights out right now.
Kyle Smith, number 94, the senior, has had a great season. 2nd and 11. Bakken. That may have been a bit of a busted play. We got another penalty flag down. Bakken running for his life and tiptoes out of bounds close to the first down marker. But this one may come back.
Yeah, again, it looked like the front pressure coming right up the gut. And I think the Rocky lineman was able to beat. And once that happens, he turns around and spins him out. And it's just off to the right of the screen there. And you can see it here in the open field. Looks like Carroll's going to probably back him up, obviously, with the run and the scamper that Bakken was able to make out of that.
So, indeed, it was holding. Bakken does look pretty comfortable once he gets out of the pocket, picking up some yards with his legs.
He does, and at times, the first couple, I was wondering if it was comfort or if it was running for his life. But one thing is for certain, he can cover the distance with his 6'5" frame. He is moving down the sidelines. Carroll players have had angles on him, and they've missed him and been able to shove him out late, but after big gains.
2nd and 21. Again, throwing from the 5. He does lock in all the way on his receiver. The catch is made at about the 18-yard line. And again, it is Reed.
Yeah, Carroll wanting to just play. You see, he grabs the ball, locks in on the hitch, throws it out. You're going to start to expect Carroll to get a beat on that and Coach Van Diesten jump it. But right now they're playing everything in front of him, not wanting to get beat deep, and now sets up a 3rd and very long halfway to Townsend here. But they do have the wind behind. Last time they let him go, and they were able to get to the sticks and move him. So we'll see if they unleash him again and let him open it up.
Number 2 is Ryan Gregory, the Carroll defender, who made the stop. He does have 1 pick this year. And I think you're right, Sean. Those Carroll defenders are going to start reading his eyes. Bakken with time to throw. He has been very confident going deep. That's the 3rd time he's tried to go over the top of that Carroll defense, but has yet to connect with a receiver. That was McGee, the leading receiver for Rocky. But it's going to be another punting situation.
Yeah, they're treating it like there's only one thing. They're kind of telling him throwing it long, and the worst thing that can happen is a long incompletion. But at the same time, with this wind coming in behind it, it's carrying on him a little more than he's expected. Although he played high school out in Webo, like we've said, so he should be adapt to the wind a little bit out there.
Play clock down to 4. They got to get this one off, and they do. Punting from the 6-yard line. High, not very far. We could see a bit of a return at the 40. There's a block. And at the 44-yard line, tripped up. Ryan Gregory had a nice return going, but still, it's great starting field position for the Saints.
Yeah, the drop by the punter was perfect. He just got it a little bit high on his leg, therefore kicked it way in the air with this wind, but then Carroll sets up a great return, and he was one ankle away from maybe busting it up for a few more yards. And you know, one of the goals always of special teams, and especially the punt return team, get a first down. And that's what they did, and this is the first time, and we're going to see now Carroll, the field position is slowly start to change, and here we see Carroll lining up and starting at 1st and 10 in the Rocky territory.
Kind of has the feel of a chess match, doesn't it? Where you kind of inch by inch gain the advantage. So it's 1st and 10 on Rocky's 45. They hand it off on 1st down, and maybe 3 or 4 sets up a 2nd and medium.
That's kind of interesting, bringing, I don't know the theory behind it, but Coach Howlett has Gustafson running over to the sidelines on every single play as you see the tackle made for a short gain. But in between plays, Gustafson comes over and basically gets it verbally from Coach Howlett, the offensive coordinator, every single time. I know as a quarterback, I wouldn't like that. Adds on about 2,000 yards or a couple miles during the course of the game.
Tire you out.
Yeah.
Tight end in motion. They keep it on the ground on 2nd down. And a great second effort by Green as he lunges forward. Still short of the 1st down, but inside the 40.
What a hard run. This is what you talk about, running behind your pads. As far as him lowering the bucket, you don't like to get with the top, but run behind your pads with that forward lean, and as a result, 2 Rocky defenders bounce off. He's able to get down into that 3rd and manageable and go for an extra few yards. So great run by the back of Carroll.
We talked about at the top of the broadcast that Carroll needed to play well on special teams. They have so far with this nice punt return as the 1st quarter winds down. Might be the last play of this scoreless 1st quarter. Important 3rd down. Gustafson rolling to his right, and again he's got an open receiver, and he just misses his target. Well, they blew a beautiful opportunity here on what is now a 4th and 4. And at this point, don't you think you might want to give it a shot?
You know, you don't know what it's that kind of that what do we have to lose type thing. I do know this: he would have rather had the wind punting with him here, although it's going to be a short pooch, and he should be able to still manage. Torgerson should be able to manage to pin him down.
Torgerson punting from right about midfield, and he's trying to angle it to the far corner, and it goes out of bounds. And now we just see where the official's going to spot it, and he does that right about the 10-yard line. So at this point, Carroll is winning the field possession battle, but with 17 seconds to go in the 1st quarter, it's still scoreless.
Yeah, no question. Both teams have had the advantage of that field position, and now neither has been able to take advantage of that. And as you said, we're going to go into the 2nd quarter with what's going to turn into, I'll tell you, both defensive fronts. It looks like it's going to be a defensive slugfest early on because both fronts are able to manhandle, at least get penetration on the offensive lines on both sides.
Well, and how about this, Sean? At this point in the season, the Carroll offense, the mighty Carroll offense that used to run it down teams' throats, they're averaging less than 100 yards a game on the ground.
Yeah, that's very, you can say that about a lot of different statistics, and that's one of them that's very un-Carroll-like.
Bakken with a completion and a 1st down as he was hit as he threw it. And Van Zee with the catch. And that will move the chains. We'll get another play in here because we've got 10 seconds to go in this 1st. And Bakken has thrown quite a few passes there where that long, skinny shadow is falling in the end zone. But the clock will run some more, and that will do it for the 1st quarter. It is a scoreless game here at this point on our game of the week. Carroll and Rocky, 2nd quarter coming up.
I call him my shadow. Everywhere I go, he goes. Everything I do, he's got to do it too. He thinks I'm some kind of superhero, I guess. I never took it real seriously until I saw him pick up more than my camo gear. Then it hit me. I didn't want to pass down my tobacco addiction. I knew I had to quit. When I told him, he fell in line.
Truck Month. Time to see all the ways Ford F-Series comes in first. F-150, your first choice for safety. The first and only light-duty pickup with an available EcoBoost engine. And first and only pickup with Pro Trailer Backup Assist. So when there's a truck with all these firsts, why waste a second on anyone else? During Truck Month, get 0% financing for 72 months or up to $10,773 in total value on F-150. See your local Ford store today.
Opportunity is everywhere. That is why I love my job at Opportunity Bank of Montana. I get to help my neighbors with business and agriculture loans, including new equipment loans. I understand that people need a bank they can rely on. You see, I grew up here with the eastern high plains out our front door and the crazy mountains in our backyard. Come see me, Brandy, or one of my colleagues at Opportunity Bank of Montana. Your local bank, your opportunity.
Second quarter just about to get underway. Peter Young along with Sean Kraft. No score, Rocky and Carroll. A huge game for the Battling Bears as they try and maintain their second position in the Frontier Conference and earn a playoff berth as they really head into the teeth of their schedule. This is the second time these two teams have played.
Way right here, now you can see that they're starting to say, okay, we're going to take the lid off a little bit. Take a few hits like that, especially at 6'5", and you might be wanting to hand that to Varner a few more times. Bakken gets paid to sling it around. Varner gets paid to get the tough yards. And that's an arguable stat whether or not they get paid at all, but that's college football 101 here in 2016.
Yeah, you look at the way he's built too. He's kind of more like a point guard. You're going to roll him to his right, nearly taken down, and manages just to get the pass off before he is leveled. Two Carroll defenders in the backfield.
Yeah, 32 Bo Meyer coming in off the outside. What a play by him to turn around and just drive through. But again, great play by Bakken to get rid of that ball to save a second or third, I should say third down now, 3rd and 9, what could have been 3rd and about 15 going into the wind.
Another good crowd on hand here at Nelson Stadium. Great day to watch a football game. Varner in there to block again. Bakken's going to try and go deep, and he overthrows Tyrell McGee. You have to feel like, Sean, that the coaches, or at least it seems to me, that the Rocky coaches see something, that they're having Bakken try and go over top.
Well, I think he's got, number one, he's got the arm, he's got the whip on himself, as far as his body structure and his throwing mechanics to get that done. And they're figuring Carroll's taking away the run defense, so the pop pass, but they're going to be able to pop one of those. They, like you said, they must have seen something on tape somewhere that we can take advantage of single coverage out on those corners.
Busy afternoon so far for Dylan Johnson. Bobbled the snap, barely gets it off, and it gets hung up in the wind, bounces at their own 40, and takes a friendly roll, but it's at the 46. So this is the second straight possession, for Carroll. Well, they're going to have great starting field position.
Dedication. It's the difference between being a Grizz fan and being a real Grizz fan. And now, thanks to First Interstate Bank, it's even easier to show your true colors. Get special rates, discounts on Grizz gear, and tons of other members-only benefits without the hassle of a 24/7 paint job. The new Grizz Banking debit card from First Interstate Bank. Find out more at grizzbanking.com.
When traveling through Montana's capital city, make your lodging destination the Comfort Suites in Helena, Montana. We are centrally located on I-15 and US Highway 12 and close to the midway point between Yellowstone and Glacier National Parks. A full day of adventures means starting the day off right with a complimentary hot and delicious breakfast. Spacious guest rooms, internet access, business center, indoor pool and fitness center, and much more. Call us at 406-495-0505 or visit us online at comfortsuiteshelena.com.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
Once again, the Fighting Saints are starting this possession inside Rocky territory. It's first down and 10 on the 46, 13:50 to go here in the first half. Gustafson creating some space, passes complete, and a broken tackle, and it's a Carroll first down, knocked out of bounds about the 25. And there you go, another big play for Connor Phone.
Yeah, talk about a guy making it happen. You know, two players really. Gustafson coming out. Rocky played contained, didn't give him the edge. He had to pull him up, but then he was able to sling it out to Phone, and Phone did the rest. One-on-one, open field. That's what you want. Get your best player in space. Let him make a play. He did, moving the chains, and here we go as far as Carroll trying to see if they're knocking on the door of the Rocky red zone.
Spotted at the 28-yard line, first and 10. Phone, the leading receiver, one of the top receivers in the nation, top 10 in numerous categories. He's got 5 touchdowns on the year, which leads Carroll. Gustafson again trying to set up the screen. The pass is complete. They're going to lose about 10 yards on that play. Walsh, if it's hard to think that quick, but would have been better off dropping it.
Yeah, Walsh, you know, you turn your back on that screen, you don't even know, but Keenan Fagan, looks like the safety coming up and matching up and able to take him to the ground. Great play by him coming in and sticking with his man and not falling for the screen and really losing his eyes and into the backfield where that's how those things can take off on you. Great play by the Rocky strong safety.
I guess really the thing to do at that point would have been Gustafson trying to just throw it at his feet, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that comes with a lot more experience, turning around, throwing it right in the dirt, and you have a receiver in the area, and you live to play another play.
Well, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It's now 2nd and 22, and a beautiful shot at the 15-yard line. The pass is complete, and the drive continues. Gustafson was leveled as he completed that pass.
Yeah, Jason Baker, you'll see it. It's a little seam route down the middle. He throws it right on target. Great play. There's Baker, the free safety, coming up. He's got 3 interceptions on the year. He wasn't going to get that one. He was a couple steps slow as far as driving on that tight end. As a result, 1st and goal for Carroll inside the 10.
And that's Sam Stratton, the backup tight end, the freshman from Spokane. According to my notes, that is his first catch of the season.
Big time for it there.
So 1st and 10 from the 10 with 11:52 to go, and Coach Petrino is going to call timeout. So Carroll on the march, still looking for our first score of the game. They're knocking the door. They're on the 10-yard line.
There are some things in life that require, demand something special. These are the times when you must seek a steak that is truly worthy of the accomplishment at hand. And when no mere steak will do, the Silver Star Steak Company has your back. They use only the best certified Angus beef, delicately prepared with as much love as your occasion deserves. When you deserve the best, the Silver Star Steak Company has a steak worthy of you.
There's a place where higher education starts at a higher elevation and rises from there. Located in the heart of the Rockies, Carroll College raises the bar with small classes taught by award-winning professors, more than 60 majors, minors, and pre-professional programs, and year-round outdoor fun over every horizon. Carroll College, aspire to go higher.
Hey man, got some chew?
No, man. This stuff's dangerous.
Hey, can I get a dip?
No way.
Why not? Give me one good reason.
It's full of toxic chemicals. It rots your teeth, and it causes cancer.
Prove it.
It says so right in the can.
Why do you do it?
So then why do you chew?
Spotted at the 10-yard line, 11:50 to go here in the first half. Carroll with the ball. Gustafson He's going to finally throw it to the end zone and over the reach of his receiver. Did a nice job of extending that play, but could not hit Connor Polson out of the backfield.
You know, you hit on it right there, Peter. Quarterback's job, extend the plays. He didn't like the initial read. Something happened downfield. He goes, pushes the line of scrimmage, gets him to drop, but then there's the evolution of the growth. Finish the play. He had him open going across the back end line. He did a great job extending it with his feet. Now he's just got to finish it, and that's a touchdown for Carroll.
Gustafson now under center. Green with the handoff. Breaks one tackle inside the 5 and brought down at the 4.
Yeah, good solid run down here in the red zone. Rocky really hunkering down. The hole hits right off the the guard. They're trying to pull a backside guard, a G play. He hits it, bounces out, lowers his shoulders, and able to get down 3rd and goal at the 5-yard line.
Chase Bertelson to clean it up for Rocky. So it's 3rd and a short 5 or long 4. Sean, what do you do here? They're going to throw it?
Well, I think the way that Rocky front has been pushing it, I think they got to give him the option to get that ball in the end zone through the air.
McGree, the tight end, in motion. Here we go. And Gustafson drops the handoff. Green with it, and he is going to be a bit short.
Well, they obviously saw something as far as it looked like. We'll have to take a look at it again. I don't know whether it was a G play or not to the left side. It was straight zone, but the fumbled snap threw the mesh point off. They still made something out of it, pushing it down to the 2.5, but Coach Van Dies's decision time, and they've made the decision. They're in the huddle.
They're going to go for it. So a no-score game. It's on the 2-yard line, 4th and 2 on the season. Carroll only converting about 20% of the time on 4th down. One running back. Gustafson, play action. Has a man in the end zone. And is it a catch or not? No, the official is signaling no catch, in and out of the hands of his receiver. And that has been the play, Sean, you and I have talked about when Gustafson rolls to his right. We have not had a lot of good success.
No, and right there he had him early. He held the ball for another step or two as he was rolling to the right side. Then he let go of it. And the juggling on the far side, the official was right there on the spot. And he obviously said that he was juggling as he fell out of bounds because he did bring it. And you can see it. We'll take a look at it right here. He throws it again to the outside. Getting a little bit blocked there, but it's on the far side. He was Johnny on the spot, the official, and he made the distinct call right off the bat. Well, incomplete.
Arnson came down with it. He must have just been out of bounds when he finally got it, which alludes to your point. He was open right away.
Yeah.
He's held it one beat too many. So now you've got Bakken with those long legs. He's standing in the end zone as he is under center. They're just going to try and get a yard or two and get out of this dangerous situation where they might give up a safety.
Yeah, this is going to be coming out offense, and your philosophy always run the ball hard up the gut. And if you get too much on your inch line, like you can see Rocky did, they do the pulling guard back on the backside, kind of a counter G play. But a lot of people run zone up, and then they'll try and draw them off sides because you don't have much to lose. And then they'll see if they'll go deep on, again, what have you got to lose on a 3rd and long from your coming out, -4, -5 yard line. So we'll kind of see what the philosophy is here of Coach Petrino.
Well, how appropriate if they do have a safety, the first points of the game scored by the defense.
Exactly.
Mason Melby again with the carry, so they try and give it to the big fullback, the 5'11", 205 sophomore out of Baker. Doesn't get a whole lot of carries, but they right now just want him to not fumble.
Yeah, you can see impressive low pad by the Carroll College defensive line, as you can see on that play again, because this front of Rocky, it's an NFL-sized front, 6'7", 315, 6'3", 300, 6'8", 320. I mean, these are mammoth guys who, when they start leaning on you, you think you'd be able to really push the pack and push the and that's what Rocky's looking to do, but they have not established it in a quarter and a half so far.
So once again, Bakken will be throwing from in the end zone, looking to his left the whole way. Nobody open. Look at those long legs going to the 15, the 20, the 25. Dragged out of bounds at the 26-yard line. And so far, Sean, the story for Rocky's offense has been the legs of their quarterback.
Yeah, no question. He's coming back. He doesn't like, that's kind of the young quarterback. They don't like their first read. Their job as a young Colt is to tuck it and run. And right there you can see they Carroll again, almost missing angle after angle as he's scrambling down, just loping down the sidelines and sets him up on the 26-yard line, and Rocky's in business, moving the chains now.
Well, you said it. That is a young Colt just running for his life, and he picks up a huge first down. Again, looks one way the whole way. Passes complete to the far sideline, and close to another first down.
Yeah, they're running 2 hitch routes or little out routes. He's staring at him. He's just basically picking which one the defender's going to jump. He's got enough of an arm. I'm impressed the way he pushes off that back foot and spins it in. But look for Carroll to start getting a bead.
Now they go to the other side of the field, and you can tell he really has a security blanket in Jace Van Zee, the senior from right there in Billings.
Yeah, both really, Coach Petrino has them going left, right, both the exact same play. Little hitch out routes, one to the left side, now comes back to the right side.
And right now we'd like to welcome our network affiliates for today's game. SWX in Billings, Bozeman, Butte, Great Falls, Helena, Kalispell, Missoula, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and the Tri-Cities and Yakima. We're happy to have you enjoying this game with us here. 7:42 to go in the first half. Still scoreless, first down and 10. They're going to run Varner, and Varner's trying to just not lose any yardage on the play. Might have gotten 1 or 2.
Yeah, great job. It's almost like, as you can see right here, it's almost like an accordion type front for Carroll. They start to fill the gaps, and as Varner starts to stretch it, they just start stretching themselves down the sidelines. That's very, very good team defense, filling from the inside out, pushing him out for minimal gain.
So it's 2nd and 9, spotted at the 42. Clock still winding down, 7:15 to play in the second quarter. Bakken to throw, has time, steps into it, and just in and out of the hands of Kalen Reed.
Yeah, that ball was there. And again, like we mentioned early on that slant route, you'll see as far as Bakken getting the ball, he's taking his nice punch step and he's pushing off that back foot, throwing his front shoulder just like you should. That ball was right on target. And you got to be making those plays for the young guy just to keep the confidence building and building as the game goes on.
Well, and with this win, they are asking their young quarterback to throw it a long way. I mean, that is not a short pass.
No.
That one was with the wind.
Back where he came from, that's out of bounds in an 8-man field.
3rd and 9, 7:05 to play. Bakken with time. Nobody open. Now he's going to tuck it and run. Gets 2 good blocks and stumbles at about the 47. And close to another first down. And if he had been able to stay on his feet, he might have had it.
So you can see that Carroll's now got a spy, and Coach Van Diest is saying enough's enough. But the trouble is the spy came flying through and missed the tackle. Bakken sidestepped him, took off, running to the sidelines, and as a result, multiple Carroll players trying to make a 4th down happen.
Well, that was Digi Leonardo, the junior defensive back out of Polson, Montana, who somehow got hurt on that play. I didn't see how it happened. He may have landed hard on a shoulder. It's 4th and 3, and I would imagine this is going to be a punting situation for Rocky.
I think that, when you look at the mentality of both coaches, they both had multiple 4th downs and 4th and shorts right at the midfield, and both of them are saying we're content to play field position football. Hence, they're both defensive-minded coaches. Defense, special teams, and let's run the ball, and let's see what we can do. So I would expect the punt to happen here too.
Coming up on the CompareFord.com halftime report, we'll get a chance to visit with both Carson Cunningham, the men's basketball coach at Carroll College, and Rochelle Sayers, the women's basketball coach here at Carroll. And we will also have former Carroll athletic director and current Rocky athletic director, Bruce Parker, good friend of ours. So he's always an excellent interview. Lots of good things happening for Rocky Mountain. They got the new field. They're going to have the women's national tournament being held in Billings next March. All that coming up on the CompareFord.com halftime report. So Digi Leonardo is off of the field up under his own power. And again, looks like the training staff has kind of got a hand underneath one of those shoulder pads. So Johnson back out to punt again. 6:37 to go here in the second quarter. Carroll back to receive at about the 10-yard line. Another tough punt for Johnson. Took a hit after he released it. And that one's going to net them about maybe 10 yards at best. That one got caught up in this Montana wind and just dropped like a rock.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
Opportunity is everywhere. That is why I love my job at Opportunity Bank of Montana. I get to help my neighbors with business and agriculture loans, including new equipment loans. I understand that people need a bank they can rely on. You see, I grew up here with the eastern high plains out our front door and the crazy mountains in our backyard. Come see me, Brandy, or one of my colleagues at Opportunity Bank of Montana. Your local bank, your opportunity.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too. Out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, we believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put him to work.
The story so far in this scoreless game with 6:20 to go in the first half is both teams playing with their backup quarterback, and it has been a field possession type of game. And for the third straight possession, Carroll's got great field position, starting at their own 47 and now into Rocky territory with a nice gain on first down.
Yeah, great play as far as by the Carroll back. He hits it to the outside, does a little jump cut, breaks to the outside, lowers his pads, drives forward 8 yards, sets up 2nd and 3. And as you just mentioned, Peter, for the third time, and it took them one play to get there, but they're in the Rocky territory. And at the end of the day, all that matters is zeros on the scoreboard, though.
We get our first look at Major Ali, who's going to get enough for the first down. He is the redshirt freshman out of Gig Harbor, Washington. 5'7", 195 has been a bit of a revelation this year for Coach Van Diest. He is their leading rusher.
Yeah, Major Ali lowering, playing behind his pads, hit that thing downhill, and you're starting to see the Carroll offensive line. We've been saying there was a hallmark or a staple for a decade and a half or 2 decades. Well, now they're starting to impose their will a little bit on the Carroll, or I should say on the Rocky front, and we'll see now at 1st and 10 if they try and maintain that running game.
Handed off to Ali, has a big hole and a big gain, leaps over one defender and tripped up inside the 30-yard line. And so you have to kind of wonder, I'm going to do it out loud, where has he been the whole first half?
I don't know, but I do know this. He had a hole. He hit it both pads downhill. He was stumbling through, looking for contact, didn't have any until he's 8, 9, 10 yards downfield, falling forward as the safeties have to rally up for Rocky and make that tackle.
Ali will get a breather and Green back in. Almost got the feeling like he was looking for a defender to hit.
Exactly.
Under 5 to play. Carroll on the march, another first down. It's on the 28. We have seen this before, though, not too long ago, and they came away empty-handed. Here comes the pressure. Gustafson with no one to throw to. Now goes into the end zone. And the catch is made. No, it is not. Just outside of the end zone, but a beautiful delivery by Gustafson.
Boy, what, you hit it right on the head. He rolls out, he buys time, he keeps his eyes downfield. Great mature play, and he throws a dart, and at the very end it looked like he came down with it, then the ground caused it, but the referee came in flying down the back end line and called him out of bounds.
So it's 2nd down and 10. 3 wide receivers off to Gustafson's right. They're going to hand it off to Green. And Green lunges forward to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, again, great play. Second down, get it back to manageable for third. You can always, almost in the NFL, you can almost call a run play on 2nd and 10, 2nd to 12, as they just want to get it to a third and manageable. It's almost a guaranteed run play, and Coach Howlett knows that and sets up a nice 3rd and 1 to 2, and his whole playbook's at his disposal.
4:05 left. Almost same formation, same play. Green's going to get the first down and dives to the 14. So good enough for the first down. They move the chains once again.
Well, they found a nice little hole and a nice run scheme as far as running that zone option. Expect for Gustafson maybe at one time or another to be able to pull that if they start driving in. So what they're doing is they're having a tight end on the left side, a dead side, so to speak, 3 receivers to the field, running that zone play. And Gustafson one of these times is going to pull that thing out and run it around the end when they start sticking their noses in there.
Well, now they've got the tight end, McGree, in the backfield with him. In the shotgun. 1st and 10, Gustafson. Happy feet, no one open. Now he's going to run. Inside the 10, takes a shot at about the 8-yard line. And a pretty good gain, and again, keeping the play alive, making something positive happen.
Great job by the tight end. You called it out. He had him in the backfield. Well, he was a complete blitz pickup guy. The blitz and the dog came off the edge of the field. Once he came inside, he lost leverage or lost contain. It enabled Gustafson to get out and make the big gain, and sets up this is a real good drive for Carroll as far as winning first down.
Now you got the 3 wide receivers split out to Gustafson's left. 2nd and 3. Walsh gets the handoff, and inside the 5, hit it about the 4-yard line.
It's the same play that they ran. Now they just flipped the formation. It's a zone read play, and that backside jump cut. He jumps it, works to the backside, lowers his pad level, picks up 4. Looks like they might have to measure it here for the first down. Real close, but boy, I like what Coach Howlett, you're starting to see the theme now. He's seeing some things that are working, and he's going back to them and moving the chains as a result. And you got to see now it's one of the great things about, you mentioned a chess match earlier. It's one of the great things about that is Rocky's got to turn around and make that adjustment. And what are they going to do? Start run blitzing into that backside hole.
While they measure, we'd like to thank these corporate champions: First Interstate Bank, the Helena Independent Record, Opportunity Bank, Lithia Chrysler Dodge Jeep of Helena, U.S. Bank, Placer Motors. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Thank you also for putting up with me this entire season as I have butchered some of those names, so I apologize for that. And did they get it?
3rd and short. Yep, 3rd and about a foot.
I got to think at this point, if they don't get the first down here, 2:35 on the clock, you got to get the 3 points.
Yeah, that's why they get paid, and that's why we never make a bad call up here. Of course they do or they don't, but we'll do it in hindsight afterwards, so we'll see.
Yeah, 3rd and a short yard. Ball on the 5.
Big tight end in the backfield at fullback. Expect some power run or an isolation type run up the gut.
Green with it. Green's going to have enough for the first down, and he stopped at about the 3-yard line. So that should be enough to move the chains. Now you got 1st and goal.
Well, I'm going to see Coach Van Diest is walking down the line, and you can see this. It's a power run game, pulling the G. They pulled in the receiver to block the backside. But as Coach Van Diest came down and said something to the offensive staff, the way they're having success, I don't know whether or not they'll get 3 or not, but I'd expect 4 straight runs of various schemes right here, knowing Coach Van Diest's philosophy.
Yeah, and that offense run by Nick Howlett, who's been here at Carroll the entire time Van Diest has. So those two know each other well. Their 18th season together. There goes Green. And Green is into the end zone. That is his 5th rushing touchdown of the year. Carroll on top.
Yeah, that's imposing your will on them as far as they lined it up again, had the fullback or the tight end, and Green just hits it downhill, lowers his pad level, and if you're a safety coming up and standing there at the goal line and not driving through, it's going to be a matter of always the running back downhill should be at least driving across the goal line, and that's what happened right there.
Well, this is not just some inconsequential extra point. because when they played back in September and Carroll scored first, that extra point got blocked and they lost by 1 point. And we announcers, it's kind of a knee-jerk reaction. The extra point gets missed and you say, well, that could come back to bite them, and it did. And we got a penalty flag before the kick.
I think they were calling delay a game, which is kind of surprising. Normally the center, or I should say the holder, is always calling out, and he, whether it be T5 or time 5 or something, and tries to get it. Oh, delay a game on the defense.
So they were talking to Colton Hamill, the kicker, about it. So that's why I thought this would be a penalty on Rocky. And with 1:48 to go, I think Carroll called the timeout. I wonder if they're going to talk about going for 2 here.
I'm wondering too now, because they are going to get half the distance if they take the penalty.
Well, both teams with 2 timeouts left. There's 1:48 to go. Again, we want to remind you about our compare4.com halftime report. We're going to talk with both basketball coaches here at Carroll. You see the beautiful gym here on the Carroll campus that has gone through a recent upgrade. Carson Cunningham in his 4th season for the men, and Rochelle Sayers, the veteran coach for the women. And we'll also be talking with athletic director Bruce Parker for Rocky Mountain College. Stats and more, that's all coming up on the compare4.com halftime report. You talked about Sean, the quarterback for Carroll having to run back and forth to the sideline to get the play from Coach Nick Howlett. I'm going to do a bit of that at halftime, because as soon as we get zeros on the board, I'm running down to the field. I got to do a couple interviews.
Exactly. We'll see what kind of shape you've been in, if you've been doing the conditioning that those guys are. That's one of the things. And obviously, I don't know if it's a signal thing, and we'll have to talk to them at one time or another what the rationale is on that. And sometimes you like to, as a young quarterback, give them some words of encouragement and calm them down and tell them what's happening. But right here, as a result of that penalty, the offense is coming out, and Carroll's going to go for 2.
Well, this is fascinating, because that missed extra point was the game changer in the first meeting, and now you've got a 6-0 score, and they're going to go for 2 here to try and go up 8-0. 3 wide receivers out to the left, phone in motion. Gustafson's going to keep it. And he gets in for the 2-point conversion, so it is an 8-0 ball game.
That's a great play call by Howlett, because now you bring the quarterback into the equation, who's an unaccounted player. So now your running backs, you can see, leads forward. You're basically running quarterback isolation out of a 1-back set. You're getting the advantage of that lead blocker, and we'll see how large that looms. That could have been that 6-0 here we go again deal, or now it turns into an 8-0. So again, Coach Petrino on the other side is still talking to him as far as why that even happened, to delay a game on the kick team, on the special teams unit, I should say, of Kiraki, and enabled that to even take place. Otherwise, it was going to be an opportunity for a 7-0 game, and it moves on. But we'll see what the call was when we get more clarification on that.
Well, so far, special teams has been won at this point by Carroll. The excellent field position, the tough punts by Rocky that have hung up in the wind, that 2-point conversion. It all amounts to an 8-0 score. Carroll on top, trying to salvage what has been a dismal season. You look again at their schedule, they got a chance to win out.
And build a lot of the momentum.
And have a winning record on this season. They got MSU Northern at home after today. Then they're at Western and Eastern Oregon to finish off the season.
Now here's, speaking of special teams, here's the special teams unit. As you mentioned in pregame, there's a special teams unit for Rocky that has been dynamic this year, returning touchdowns. So here's a chance, even though there's only 1:48 left, to determine how Coach Petrino and his staff will attack this last minute and 48. Are they going to get great field position to start something, or are they going to be stuck back? But with the wind, look for them to say boot it through the end zone. That's what I'd be doing on the kickoff cover unit.
Sam Sparks and Prince Shinola back to receive. They have both taken a kickoff to the house for a touchdown in the last 2 weeks. And Hamill does his job, Sean, just like you said, coaches wanted him to, just kick that out of the end zone.
Yeah, that's a dream as a special teams coordinator, to have a kicker kicking it through the end zone, because really punt cover and kickoff cover are 2 ones you kind of hold on, and nothing much positive really happens off those 2 teams. So we'll see how they attack it now. They're going to be on the 25-yard line, and with 1:48 left, down 8-0.
The running of both quarterbacks has also been a major factor in this game. Again, we got two backup quarterbacks on the field, Bakken and Gustafson. Gustafson with the 2-point conversion, and Bakken with a couple big first downs with his legs. Let's see what he can accomplish here in what amounts to about a 2-minute drill here to end the first half. He's got 3 wide receivers to his right, and that's where he goes.
Well, that was tight coverage. He honed it in. A lot of times in this 2-minute drill, as you can see, they're getting up and getting set. You like to get the play, get the drive started, and it's usually of, running play or easy pass. And right there, he threw the easy hitch, but it was stared down, and he's going to come right back to it.
Passes complete to Van Zee, who is at a very good first half. A generous spot out to the 40-yard line. He was tiptoeing on that sideline there for about 4 or 5 yards. Moves the chains and stops the clock with 1:24 to play. After a bit of a shaky start to this game, Bakken, who has not seen a lot of playing time, has really settled down. Yep. Flag down before the play even started. I said, yep, because I was looking right at Prince Shinola, and he flinched.
Yeah, and you mentioned Bakken as far as settling down. You can see without, like I mentioned, a lot of times to get the 2-minute drill started, you like something easy, and the way Varner runs, maybe something to set him up and get him going. Well, instead, Coach Petrino does have that same confidence you mentioned. He's enabling him to drop back, push off that back foot. He's making it easy throwing catches, hitches and outs, but look for him to try and attack. They got plenty of time and timeouts to attack the middle of the field as Carroll tries to work that sidelines on defense also.
1st and 15. Bakken again flushed, trying to throw across his body, and wisely just throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, I like Bakken is doing a good job. The secondary for the Saints are doing a great job. But as you can see, Bakken dropping back. There's nothing there. He's extending the play. But then you can see the chess match that we talked about. There comes 44 for Carroll. He is now the designated spy. And it didn't take long and a few runs by the youngster coming around the edge for Coach Van Diest to put that in, because I don't quite know if that was in the original starting game plan.
Reese Quady, the 3rd leading tackler for Carroll on the season, with an excellent first half. 1:18 to play, 2nd and 15. Bakken again going over top to Shinola, and a beautiful catch at the 40-yard line of Carroll, right in front of Coach Van Diest.
Yeah, Coach Van Diest arguing the spot. He's talking about his defensive coverage, about how he can play underneath. But there they finally got the one-on-one matchup. Carroll is playing a safety over the top of the 3 wide receivers, which leaves the backside receiver, as you see, wide open. However, this one's all for naught, as it's going to be called back here with a penalty.
Well, that is a huge penalty. Instead of 1st and 10 on the Carroll 40, it is 3rd and 25 on their own 25 with 1:05 to go. And that may be all that is needed to prevent any kind of score here for Rocky in this entire first half. 2nd and 25. And we got another penalty. Delay of game.
Yeah, that's it. Again, they were trying to isolate the backside receiver, but there you see from Coach Van Diest what he's saying. He's looking at that backside single receiver also, and is starting to work a 2 safety look. So it's kind of what's great about it is in-game adjustments, and then they're both going to go in at halftime and see what's working and what matchups are working. But right now we're getting a massive amount of in-game adjustments, and Coach Van Diest is working both safeties, telling them how to play the backside over the top of both of these guys, knowing that the vertical ball, we've seen Bakken throw it numerous times, and now he's starting to hone in on it a little bit and making some good connections.
We got 45 seconds to go. It is 2nd, and I think it's going to be 2nd down and 30 at this point. Clock now running. I'm just wondering if Carroll's going to try and use a timeout and see if they can't get a play off. And another late flag comes way in.
And another one.
The official throwing his hat and the flag as the Rocky player Tyrell McGee just slipped.
I think out on the outside, we had a little push and match between the two, the corner and the receiver for Rocky. And I'm not sure which one the original was. The original call went, but then it looked like there was a head bump there at the end. But I think that's when the hat went flying too. So this will be against Rocky.
Well, he came flying in, that side judge, with a head of steam. He had something to say.
Then I believe they're going to have a personal foul tacked on the end of it too.
Yeah, that's a personal foul on Shinola after that big reception by Shinola. Rocky was looking at a 1st down and 10 on Carroll's 40. Now they're all the way back to their own 4-yard line. It's still 2nd down. There's 21 seconds to go. I'm wondering if Carroll has the opportunity to call a timeout. And I think Baca's just going to sit on this because the play clock is at 10. Game clock, excuse me. There's about a 3-second differential. Game clock at 5, play clock at 8. And they will wisely not do anything the rest of this half and simply walk off the field and be thankful it is only an 8-0 score. And the hometown Fighting Saints of Carroll College on top. Halftime coming up.
There's a place where higher education starts at a higher elevation and rises from there. Located in the heart of the Rockies, Carroll College raises the bar with small classes taught by award-winning professors, more than 60 majors, minors, and pre-professional programs, and year-round outdoor fun over every horizon. Carroll College, aspire to go higher.
At Northwestern Energy, part of delivering a bright future means being connected to all our communities. It means delivering safe and reliable power to your home, while helping to power your business's success. It means actively planning for the future, while investing in future generations. It means working to ensure your safety and comfort, while comforting those in need. It's by working together that we're able to deliver a bright future. Because together, we're Northwestern Energy.
Get more from Tire-Rama right now with a Cooper Tire rebate of up to $70. Take the money and ride with American-made tires sold by the trusted folks at your local Tire-Rama. Need more? Ask about our hassle-free warranty. If one tire goes, we'll replace all 4. That's right, up to a $70 rebate from Cooper Tires and the best tire replacement warranty you can find only at Tire-Rama. More than just a tire store. Rebate offer ends October 31st.
Rocky Mountain College is a comprehensive liberal arts college located in Billings, Montana. 90% of our students directly contribute to the area's growth through the school's community engagement projects, like equestrian studies, physician's assistant studies, and aviation. The college's student athletes compete in the NAIA in 17 different sports, and Battling Bear Athletics is highly competitive in all sports offered. Rocky Mountain College is poised for the next stage of its 138-year pursuit of the highest expectations of excellence.
Truck Month. Time to see all the ways Ford F-Series comes in first. Super Duty. First in its class in max horsepower. First in its class in standard torque. And first in its class in diesel fuel economy. So, when there's a truck with all these firsts, why waste a second on anyone else? During Truck Month, get 0% financing for 72 months or up to $8,859 total value on Super Duty. See your local Ford store today.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too, out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, we believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put him to work.
But still, preseason, you guys were picked to finish 4th in the conference.
Is that right? Is that what we were picked?
That's what I read.
Well, that's about what I think about. I mean, I think, this is a really good conference. It was really young last year, and it was good last year. So, we can't do anything about it but get better every day, and that's kind of our focus right now.
Talk about your team. You've got one senior, Bailey Watson. You've obviously got a lot of young players who are getting a lot of playing time this year.
We're young, but they have a lot of experience. We were young last year, and those kids played a lot. So, if you look at our roster, we look young, but we've got a lot of kids that were red shirts that are sophomores, but really juniors. And so I feel much better about our depth. And, I think we do have more experience than it looks on paper, really.
Talk about the conference. Again, we talked about you guys being picked 4th in the preseason poll, but if you can kind of handicap the conference for us.
Well, everybody returned a great roster, and we had 4 teams and had Rocky stayed healthy, probably 5 teams that would have gone to the national tournament last year. LC, reigning champions, returns a ton of kids. Northern returns their entire starting 5. Great Falls obviously lost the league scorer in Aaron Legal, but get Vining back, who was a great scorer for them, so they'll be good again. And I think Western really improved their roster, and Rocky, has recruited a ton of transfers, and I know they're good. We've seen them, but so you don't know what you're going to get with them. They have a lot of new players, and Tech returns pretty much their entire team. So it's going to be really a tough conference and dogfight every night.
And we're still talking about mid to late October, and yet you got your first game coming up in about a week, right?
Yeah, October 28th. We're excited to tip off, and then we're rolling from there. The 3rd, the 4th, and then we're at the Grizzlies on the 7th. So we have about a week to really get going here.
And then when does conference play start for you guys?
We actually start one game in December 7th with Western, and we'll play 3 games early, and then we're off for a while, and then we're back at it in January.
Enjoy the rest of the day. It's a beautiful day to watch college football. Did you have any practice this morning already?
8 a.m., bright and early.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate it, and good luck this season.
All right, sounds great. Thanks.
Coach Rochelle Sayers, the women's basketball coach here at Carroll. We're going to take a break. Halftime continues. When we come back, we'll have head basketball coach for the men, Carson Cunningham.
Excited about Bobcat season? Trust us, so are we. Sometimes game day just can't get here soon enough. You could show up 12 hours before kickoff to show your colors, or you could get the new Bobcat banking card from First Interstate Bank. Find out more at bobcatbanking.com.
It's hard to be in college and not be focused.
Being an athlete even helps you become more and more focused.
If I don't stay focused, I fall way behind on schoolwork.
A lot of homework on the bus and in hotel room.
This is one of the most formational times in your life, and so it's important to make healthy choices.
Because people who are tobacco-free just do better in school.
I don't use tobacco. I feel like your body is your temple.
I don't think I'd be the person I am today if I had used tobacco products.
I'm focused on a tobacco-free generation.
At Pizza Hut, we've got a carry-out deal just for you. Any pizza, any size, any crust, and any topping for just $10. You want a large hand-tossed pepperoni and mushroom? $10. Or maybe you're a large pan supreme kind of person. $10. Thinking about a combination of your own? Well, that's $10 too. That's any pizza, any size, any crust, and any topping for just $10. And get stuffed crust for just $2 more. This $10 carry-out deal ends soon, so hurry to Pizza Hut today.
All right, you ready? You're on.
And welcome back, everybody, to the CompareForward.com halftime report. Peter Young along with head basketball coach for Carroll College, Carson Cunningham. It's nice to talk about those preseason predictions when you're predicted to win the conference. You got the MVP and a couple all-conference performers.
Well, we are excited about the team and the experience we have back, but we're also keenly aware of the fact that you really shouldn't take much credence in preseason polls. You know, we have not been picked in the top half of the league since I've been here until this year. Now, of course, last 2 years we did finish in the top half of the league. We hope to do it again, but if anybody knows not to put too much credence in preseason polls, it's our players, and we'll keep that in mind. We just got to get better every week.
Talk about the preseason MVP. Taylor's had a fantastic career here at Carroll.
Oh, I mean, Zach Taylor, he's a stocking stuffer on the stat line, my friends, and he'll go down as, I think it's pretty much, you can't argue it, he's on pace at least to be the most productive player in the history of this school, and maybe the Frontier. I don't know the history of the Frontier well enough, but I mean, he's going to end up, he's on pace at least as the top 2 scorer, top 2 or 3 assist man. I think he has a chance, he's on pace for top 10 rebounds, top 10 steals, like all time. It's crazy. And our guys rally around him. He was a unanimous selection for team captain. He'll be a team captain along with Ryan Imhoff, who was one of 3 sophomores chosen, nominated for the All-American team last year. So we're excited, but we also know there's really, really good teams all over across the Frontier and all across the nation, and we have a tough slate. We have a tougher slate this year than I think any year that I've been here.
Well, and you're going to start off the season here in a couple of days with the University of Idaho, so you're playing a Big Sky team.
Yes, we're playing the Vandals from Moscow, in Moscow, and then we're going to go play our cousins to the north, couple games, Lethbridge, Alberta, and then we got MSU Billings on the road, a bunch of road games. Then we play Washington State in the Pac-12 on the road. So we got a chance to see where we're at in these opening tilts, hostile environments, tough players, and it's fun. You get the juices flowing.
This is your 4th season here at Carroll, so you got all of your guys. Is it kind of a different feel now that all the faces are familiar and they're more familiar with you at this point?
Well, I do think we're getting some corporate knowledge, some carryover, because we have guys who have been here now for a long time. Some of them, we're still pretty young. We'll still probably start 3 sophomores, but that's nice. But I've said from the beginning, all the guys on the team I consider my guys, our guys, and we don't really worry about that. But I do like that we have a knowledge base and a continuity that allows us to get to things earlier in the season than I think in previous years, and that certainly hopefully will lead to more dynamic play down the road.
Talk about that when you talk about the knowledge base, the way you want to play the game or the way you think the game of basketball should be played.
Well, basically, understanding our personnel, understanding each other, understanding the things that we're looking for and the things that we think can give us a strategic advantage, and knowing how to find those things and have the patience to try to exploit them, and that's can become rather nuanced, and it takes time, and you have to be able to play in a hostile environment and still execute at a high level. And I just think the carryover year to year and the familiarity these guys are building with each other and with the way that our staff coaches is going to help us. At least I hope so.
You guys are fun to watch. I've enjoyed calling your games over the years, and we appreciate you coming down here for halftime, and good luck next week against the Vandals.
Absolutely. Let's keep going, fighting Saints, up 8-0. It's like a Chicago Cubs baseball score. Take care.
That's what I said to start the broadcast. This might be like Clayton Kershaw, Dodgers, and Cubs tonight, right?
Yeah, well, let's just hope that we can get to Kershaw a little bit tonight.
Okay, thanks, Carson. Appreciate it. Halftime continues. Again, our score, 8-0 Carroll on top. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Picking up pieces of my life, sometimes there's ones I just can't find, but they found a home with you. And when I think about the things that we've been through, I know just one thing is true: life is better with you. Whoa, whoa, life is better with you.
There's a new sports bar in town. 17 big screen TVs. Personalized audio every set. DirecTV sports packages. Cable, Roku, webcast. Watch Carroll, Cats, Grizz, or whatever your favorite team or sport is. Or TV show for that matter. Delicious pub food. 36 beers on tap and great service. The newest sports bar in Helena is also the first sports bar in Helena. Bleachers. Inside Bert and Ernie's.
Truck Month. Time to see all the ways Ford F-Series comes in first. F-150, your first choice for safety. The first and only light-duty pickup with an available EcoBoost engine. And first and only pickup with Pro Trailer Backup Assist. So when there's a truck with all these firsts, why waste a second on anyone else? During Truck Month, get 0% financing for 72 months or up to $10,773 in total value on F-150. See your local Ford store today.
Welcome back, everybody. Halftime continues here at Nelson Stadium. With me, Athletic Director for Rocky Mountain College, formerly of Carroll College, Bruce Parker. This is a place that you know well, and so does your current head football coach, Jason Petrino. You hired him. Pretty emotional week for him coming home.
You know, I really think it is, Peter. He played here. He graduated from Carroll College, and he has so much respect, as we all do, for Mike Van Diest and what he's done here. And he's an outstanding person and a great football coach. So, yeah, there's a little nostalgia today, same way with me coming back. But our football team is right in the game. We were down 14 at half down in Billings. So I'm optimistic. We're only down 8, so let's hope the wind will jump on our side.
Yeah, you had a great comeback in Billings in September. You got that huge 21-20 win. Let's switch gears and talk about hoops. We just interviewed the two coaches for Carroll College. Your basketball season starts tonight.
Yeah, it does. Wes Keller will get his squad out on the court against Mount Royal tonight at 7 at the Fortin Education Center. Hey, I'm excited. He's the only women's team in the country that already knows they're going to the national tournament. So I'm real excited for Wes. He's brought in some outstanding talent to go along with some great returners from last year. And it's Wes's third year. And, you know, the Keller name in this league's kind of like the Petrino name and the Van Diest name that, you know, with Steve at Montana Western done such a great job. And Wes is an outstanding person and a great coach, too. So I'm excited. I'm going to try to bust back and get there to see most of our women's game tonight in Billings.
I can tell you were dying to use that line about the women's team is already guaranteed a spot at the national tournament. But for those who don't know, go ahead and explain to the audience why that is and what's coming up in March.
Well, we really took a chance, and we decided that we wanted to get a national tournament in our league and in the state of Montana and in Billings, Montana. So we put in a bid with the NAI, and we were lucky enough to be awarded the 2017 and 18 Women's NAI Division I National Tournament. We're going to have it at the Rimrock Auto Arena at Metra, and we're going to host 32 teams, the best women's teams in the country, and we are so proud in Billings and at Rocky Mountain College, and with our partner Visit Billings and the Chamber to host a national tournament. It's going to be great basketball. We want to put butts in the seats. We want to fill up the Metra and just show them how great that the state of Montana can put on a national tournament.
It's going to be a fun March. We appreciate you coming and talking with us, Bruce, and enjoy the second half.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I feel underdressed. You got the coat and the tie on, and I'm down here with hoods on trying to stay warm, but go back upstairs into your warm booth and stay warm.
All right. Thanks, Bruce. We'll be back. Third quarter coming up.
Thanks. Great job.
Appreciate you too. Good seeing you.
Yeah, it was great seeing you.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too, out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, we believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put him to work.
Opportunity is everywhere. That is why I love my job at Opportunity Bank of Montana. I get to help my neighbors with business and agriculture loans, including new equipment loans. I understand that people need a bank they can rely on. You see, I grew up here with the eastern high plains out our front door and the crazy mountains in our backyard. Come see me, Brandy, or one of my colleagues at Opportunity Bank of Montana. Your local bank, your opportunity.
EBMS was founded in 1980 to ensure Montana companies could provide health benefits that were both beneficial and affordable. That vision hasn't changed, it's just grown. I joined EBMS more than 20 years ago, and I'm proud to have been part of this growth. Today, more than 300 team members join me at EBMS to offer on-site clinics, wellness, prescription programs, and a full array of benefit services. We've emerged as an industry leader and one of Montana's premier employers.
Join a dynamic organization that offers career growth, exceptional benefits, and support for community involvement. EBMS.
Peter Young is sprinting up the steps and should be back from the interviews.
What were you saying about me being in shape or not being in shape? Oh, my goodness. Good grief. 40-yard dash. You could have got out the sundial on me today.
You're lucky it's a 3-story press box.
Well, that was fun. Fun halftime. And 8-0 our score. Do we have any halftime stats?
Yeah, the key, as we were going through this,
well, no fumbles for either team, and no interceptions either. You look at Major Ali with 2 carries for 18 yards. He only got in on that one series. It was fairly effective. Haven't seen him since. So it will be Rocky Mountain ball to start the third quarter, and we are underway. And it's a squib kick, so trying to keep it out of the hands of Sparks and Shinola. And kind of a loose ground ball. Sparks had to pick it up and returned it to about the 18, 19-yard line, but a couple penalty flags down.
And Peter, and looking at the statistics, when you look at one thing that Coach Petrino.
So penalty against the Battling Bears. We'll push them back even further. And field position has not been good for the Battling Bears here. In a low-scoring game, the field position battle has clearly been won by Carroll.
The field position battle, but also when you look at the running game, Coach Petrino, as they line up for first down, the last thing they wanted to do was have Bakken as their leading rusher through one half of play. Varner hasn't been able to get on track, 9 yards on 8 carries, and here Bakken carrying the load for him, 4 carries, 33 yards.
Bakken on the day, 7 of 15 for 57 yards. And Gustafson's for Carroll, 12 of 6 for 52. More importantly for both quarterbacks, 0 interceptions, so 0 turnovers. Varner with the carry on first down.
There is the establishment of Varner. Let's get Varner back in the game. Coach Petrino's got to be turning to them and saying, okay, we've got to manufacture Varner. He's going to jump cut, run the zone read, pull people out in front, but we've got to get him established. The last thing we want to do is get on the bus back home knowing that our 6'5" sophomore quarterback led us in rushing against the Carroll defense here.
2nd and 7. Bakken to throw, steps into it, and has a receiver just shy of the first down, Kalen Reed. Second catch of the afternoon. It was really Jace Van Zee who was the top target for Bakken, with 5 catches in the first half for 48 yards. And the sticks weren't set on that play. There was a first down and 10. They were still showing 3rd and about a few inches. And pass was incomplete, so it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's up to the official to step in and slow this thing down as you see Bakken work into the out route right into where the sticks were trying to get set on the outside. And as a result, yeah, they threw a flag down.
I didn't hear what they called.
I didn't either, and they're going to pick it up, and it still remains 2nd and 10.
Spotted on the 18. Just underway, 3rd quarter. Peter Young along with Sean Kraft. They still gassed Peter Young. My goodness, Sean. Here we go. You might want this guy to be your leading rusher. Nice block by Van Zee about the 32-yard line. Sprung Bakken for a bit more. That guy can run.
Yeah, that's where, and you know, maybe we're sitting there giving not enough credit to the product from Weibo and the fact of not wanting him to be the leading rusher, but that was design all the way. Pull it, take the edge, and Carroll gave it to him for a tune of 15, 20 yards.
1st and 10, Bakken's going to go down. Sacked behind the line of scrimmage, might have lost about 5 or 6 on the play. And just a great surge by about 3 or 4 Carroll players.
Yeah, you got to feel confident as you look. As he drops back, the coverage of Carroll has just been very, very good throughout the night. And as a result, his eyes drop immediately. He starts looking for the lanes. And if Carroll can squeeze those lanes, they can stop him. But boy, if those lanes are there, he's going to explode through it. And look for Coach Van Diest to get right back into that spy mode on top of Bakken in any obvious passing situation.
Barnett and Smith there for the sacks. 2nd down and 14. Bakken has time now, slings its sidearm, and again has a receiver open. That is Shinola with the catch, just shy of another first down.
Yeah, good. Up letting the crossing routes come across, and then he's able to step into the throw. So right there, good protection. They enabled the routes to develop on the move, at least get him into 3rd and manageable here and give him into a comfort zone.
Well, when you're 6'5", it's a lot easier to get away with throwing its sidearm. 3rd and 2. They have to get to about the 47. Handoff. I don't think he's going to get there. So the much maligned Carroll defense that has had a hard time stopping anybody on 3rd down has done a bit of it here today.
They have, and with the punting unit, now they're still going to come on. But boy, as you mentioned, and we've been saying it from almost the first snap, Carroll's defensive front has come to play today because they are really, really getting some good penetration. That entire front, the backers are filling in, setting up, and really opening up every gap, or closing, I should say, every gap off for Varner. He has just had tough sledding today.
Tackle made by David Anderson, one of the top tacklers in the conference at about 8 a game. And this penalty, I think, is going to go against Carroll. This may give Rocky a first down.
It's a hit and miss. Nope, they're going to call it against Rocky.
Well, only 2 penalties in the first half against Carroll, 5 against Rocky for 40 yards. And you're right, Sean, goes against Rocky.
So we'll see. The freshman from Washington could not punt into the wind, but the flathead punter, conversely, Torgerson for Carroll could. So here he has the wind behind him, and he's able to get one off for a fair catch.
So Phone with a fair catch at the 25-yard line. Check that, Ryan Gregory. So it will be 1st and 10 on the 25 for Carroll with their first possession of the second half. Our game of the week, we're going to be back in Billings on November 12th for a tilt between Montana Western at Rocky Mountain College. So we will get our second look this season on our game of the week at the brand new turf at Herb Clint Stadium there in Billings. They got in lights, turf, and all part of a master plan to really revamp the athletic facilities there under Bruce Parker, the athletic director, is doing a fantastic job at Rocky. How about this? Huge gain for Dylan Green, still on his feet past midfield, and he is dragged down from behind, but not before he gets into Rocky territory.
Boy,
one of the best runs of the day for
yeah,
Carroll.
as you came in, you mentioned it in the keys to the game, as you watch him bust through the front line, get into the secondary, turn on the speed. But as we mentioned coming in, an uncharacteristic 96 yards average rushing, and they're at 105 at half, and now just add to that total, Carroll's breaking out here in that offensive backfield.
That's going to put a smile on Coach Mike Van Dies's face. It has been a dismal rushing attack this year, but today they're getting it done here. And this is what we're used to seeing. You kind of use the phrase downhill. What I like to say is that the Carroll back is not really getting touched until he's already gotten a few yards.
Exactly right, and that's a credit to that offensive line. The big boys up front are getting on blocks, sustaining, and a lot of times people always talk about driving them off the ball and moving them. When you're a good defensive player, you're not getting driven off the ball. You need to stay engaged, almost like Velcro, and make that back hit them. And if they have to reach out for an arm tackle, then you can pile them down. But that's what's happening right now. Untouched into the secondary.
2nd and 6, blitz coming. And Gustafson barely got the throw off as the defender was closing in. It's an incompletion, brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, great little change up by Rocky. They went into the boundary, into the tight side of the field, so Rocky sent the corner off of the receiver. Carroll's got to see that. They got to run what a lot of people call it like a now route. When the corner blitzes, you slowly eke off the line and hit it, and he just didn't see it in time and threw the ball late. The corner basically blew up his vision and out of bounds, so sets up a 3rd and medium.
3rd and 6. Walsh comes out late, Green back in. 3 wide receivers to Gustafson's right. Nobody open, he's gonna run for it. And with that little hop and a skip, he gets tackled at the 35, and that should be enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, good protection, good pickup. Rocky's running what they call a field zone blitz and cover 3 behind it, so they're bringing pressure off of the field side. Carroll picks it up, enables him to get a little bit of a seam. He puts his eyes down, dives forward, sets up. He's going to be about 6-8 inches short. They're not going to measure it, but here's Coach Van Dies's first crack at 4th down.
2nd, actually, I think. Didn't the first half they had, I think, 4th and
did.
goal. And they decided not to kick the field goal. So here you go, 4th and inches on their own 35. And that should be enough. He didn't need much. That's Green, who had the touchdown in the first half.
That was actually the touchdown running play. They bring the receiver in to block off or seal off the backside so they can't come down the line with a fullback, and he's just able to work the line of scrimmage, show good patience, get behind the surge or that push on that right side and get that 1st down. You know, as you look at the Rocky defense, leading tacklers, it's the Willie, the Mike, the free safety, in the end, Ryder Rice, but it's Denton, Weibo, Savage. It's like a Class C all-star game as far as those guys on the defensive side. For Rocky, credit to them, finding the gems in the rough out there recruiting. But when you start saying your free safety, your Willie, your strong safety, those guys are leading tacklers, you know Carroll's getting the ball into the 2nd level.
Conversely, for Carroll in the first half, Kyle Smith, Bo Meyer, Reese Quady, all with great first halves as we have a timeout on the field. The drive continues. It's 1st and 10. 8:45 to go in the 3rd. Only 1 score in the first half with the extra point. Makes it an 8-0 score.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
Dedication. It's the difference between being a Grizz fan and being a real Grizz fan. And now, thanks to First Interstate Bank, it's even easier to show your true colors. Get special rates, discounts on Grizz gear, and tons of other members-only benefits without the hassle of a 24/7 paint job. The new Grizz Banking debit card from First Interstate Bank. Find out more at grizzbanking.com.
Picking up pieces of my life, sometimes there's ones I just can't find, but they found a home with you. And when I think about the things that we've been through, I know just one thing is true. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you.
8:45 to go here in the third. First and 10 for Carroll on their own 34, Rockies 34. Off the left tackle, and that was really where some nice openings and some nice holes were developing in the second quarter for Carroll off that left tackle. Not there.
Exactly, that's a formation, a 3-receiver field to the field.
When we were just talking about Ryan Walsh during the break there, he had not had a whole lot of yards in the first half. He had one catch for -11. That was that screen pass that Rocky did such a nice job defending. They're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd down and 10. Gustafson with time. Again, nobody open. Scrambles to his left and continues the play, and it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Carroll. And once again, it's their star, Connor Phone.
What a great job. Time. The backer sucked up on the play action, just a little token fake. He then bought time with his outside to break it to the outside, threw an absolute beautiful rainbow over the top, and a good catch in the back end line by the Carroll receiver, getting behind the secondary. And that's Phones. He's been just all over the field from the opening snap, carrying the ball out of the backfield and coming in running wildcat, and there he is catching a 30-yard bomb.
The extra point is good. That is the 6th touchdown reception of the season for Connor Phone. Again, he's the star in the conference, one of the best in the nation. How do you let him get behind you?
You know, and that's something you'll always ask, and you'll look at the film, and as a result, though, when you have a quarterback who is able to extend that play, it's one of the great attributes that you look for in a quarterback. You're not looking for a guy who can just take off running all the time. You're looking for a guy to extend the play, and when you can extend it, guys get lost. I don't care if Sanders or not back in that backfield. You can get lost in the secondary, and Phone's good enough to find those little weak spots back there.
3rd touchdown pass of the season for Tanner Gustafson, up against 1 interception. So far, Gustafson came into today having played in 3 games. He'd thrown 27 passes, so he was completing 56% of his passes, 2 TDs and an interception. So in spotty play, the numbers were pretty good. You look at his first half numbers, not too bad. He's had his shaky moments, but right now he's got his team up 15-0, and he has responded to the call. Hey, we need you right now.
He is. He's taken a lot. It has helped that he's had a running game to lean on a little bit here. But as a result of that, give him credit. He's been able to extend some plays. The times he's been inaccurate is rolling on the get some good penetration. He doesn't quite turn his hips downfield, but boy, when he can stand back there and sling it, he's been more than adequate. I'll say that.
Well, that was the difference on that throw there, Sean. He was rolling left. He was able to stop, plant, and deliver a good pass. And so here is Shinola with the first really good look at a kickoff return for Rocky, and it is great coverage by Carroll. Shinola dropped at the 20.
Yeah, good coverage, and that's a challenge you put in all week. For the Rocky side, it's let's keep the momentum going and get a great kickoff return to set our offense up and really take some heat off it. And the Carroll kickoff cover team, that tempo team, they responded right there and drilling him, knocking him down inside the 25.
Well, Bruce Parker, the athletic director for Rocky, alluded to it, and we were talking at halftime. This is the same situation the Battling Bears found themselves in Billings in early September, down 2 scores. And that Carroll offense, whether they got stymied, got complacent, who knows what happened, but they let Rocky back in the game. We'll see if it can happen for the 2nd straight meeting between these 2 teams.
There's something that, you want to get or hang your hat on something. You want to establish something. And this Varner run, they've been punching him to the gut and punching him to the gut of the Carroll defense. But so far as we get, closing in on midway through the third quarter, it's been that Carroll defense responding time and time again.
Kyle Smith shedding the blocker and makes the tackle as well. His fifth of the game. 7:15 left, third quarter. 15-0, Carroll on top. 4 wide receivers for Bakken. Looks left, then he goes right, going over the top to his receiver, and an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
Intended for McGee.
Yeah, and speaking, the one thing on that deep ball, especially when you got the wind behind you almost want to throw it up and down like down a chimney. And as he throws this, the trajectory, it's just got to be nails perfect as far as a low trajectory that he's throwing. When you get behind them, and they are a step or two behind the defensive secondary, it's got to be up and down a chimney. You see a lot of drills they run, they throw a trash can out there at about 40 yards and try and drop it in. And that's what he's missing a little bit on that offensive side as far as throwing that football on those deep balls.
3rd and 10. I did like how he was able to look off the defense. Now he's got no one to throw to, and he goes down at the 15 and the 10-yard line, and we've got a flag down. Second sack of the game.
Yeah, there he drops back. He had time. These are late developing routes. He tried to
sack.
And as a result, he can't step up and really make anything happen, and there he goes down. That Carroll defensive front again.
Now they're going to decline the penalty. 3rd and 15. It's another sack for Kyle Smith, who is really having his way for Carroll. And now it's going to be 4th and 20. Well, Dylan Johnson now has to punt out of his own end zone. And so that storyline, Sean, of field position continues to tilt Carroll's way. Phone back to receive at midfield. Going to get it about the Rocky 48. And just goes ahead for about 4 or 5 yards. And again, great field position for Carroll. They're up 2 scores. Going to try and make it 3.
At Northwestern Energy, part of delivering a bright future means being connected to all our communities. It means delivering safe and reliable power to your home, while helping to power your business's success. It means actively planning for the future while investing in future generations. It means working to ensure your safety and comfort while comforting those in need. It's by working together that we're able to deliver a bright future. Because together, we're Northwestern Energy.
Get it? Got it? Good! Get a rebate up to $70 right now on your Cooper tire purchase from Tire-Emma. Choose 4 tires from our wide selection of Cooper tires in stock now, including Cooper CS3, Discoverer AT3, Weathermaster WSC, and many more. With over 150,000 tires in stock, we're sure to have your tire with the offer you don't want to miss. Up to $70 on Cooper tires at Tire-Emma. Offer ends October 31st. Get it? Got it? Good! Tire-Emma. More than just a tire store.
When traveling through Montana's capital city, make your lodging destination the Comfort Suites in Helena, Montana. We are centrally located on I-15 and US Highway 12 and close to the midway point between Yellowstone and Glacier National Parks. A full day of adventures means starting the day off right with a complimentary hot and delicious breakfast. Spacious guest rooms, internet access, business center, indoor pool and fitness center, and much more. Call us at 406-495-0505 or visit us online at comfortsuiteshelena.com.
The game of the week is brought to you by your local Ford stores. ProBuild, Montana Tobacco Quit Line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW, First Interstate Bank, and Conlon's Furniture. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Peter Young and Sean Kraft. This is a big possession for both Carroll and Rocky. As Sean, you said it there during the break. If Carroll can take a lot of time off the clock and get another score up on the board, with the backup quarterback, this is not a Bears offense. It's going to generate a lot of points quickly.
No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like they're trying to rely on that deep vertical route, but Coach Howlett conversely comes out as the Carroll. You can see what that running game has generated. Now they're able to pull that ball. That was a designed pull, and he ends up getting 6 to 7 yards on it as they're really honing in on stopping that running back now.
Handoff off the left side. Major Ali with his 3rd carry of the game. We are still kind of scratching our heads as to why this guy's only had 3 carries today.
Yeah, I like the way he runs the ball, and realistically today you like the way all of them have been running the ball, and again that helps because they're not getting hit in the backfield. They're able to get their pads and run downhill, and as a result making things happen. And so here's a nice 3rd and 2, good for the Carroll offense. Let's see what Rocky can do as far as doing some type of run plug and see if they can shut down that rushing attack here on 3rd and short.
5:15 left in the 3rd quarter. They're going to roll Gustafson to his right, and he is going to take a shot and goes down. Chase Bertelson with the sack. That is his 7.5 tackles for a loss on the season, so he's done a nice job this year with his penetration.
Yeah, Bertelson, they're going to hang their hat on him. He's a sophomore out of Webo. He is a rising star for them. Already came in with 51 tackles on the year, and he's just adding to that total throughout the day because he has been a busy guy there at the Mike linebacker, that middle linebacker slot.
Yeah, had 7 tackles in the first half. Torgerson is going to try and put this one in the corner and does. And they're going to spot it at the 17-yard line. So again, inside their own 20 where they will start with the ball, the Battling Bears. 4:31 left in the 3rd. 0 points on the board. We didn't get to give you all of those first half stats, but for the Rocky offense, it's not very pretty. They had 45 yards rushing on the ground. Again, their backup quarterback had most of that, and only 57 yards through the air. Do the quick math, that's barely over 100 yards of offense.
No, and adding to that, they've had a hard time punting the ball.
And they've had a couple drops as well. I think that's the 2nd drop of the day for Van Zee.
Yeah, 2nd drop for him, and it was also another drop for a few other of these Rocky receivers as they've been really having a hard time picking up Bakken's balls and doing him no favors, as we've said from the get-go. That's one of the jobs. You know, this is when a young guy plays in any position at any level, the team really needs to rally and kind of up their game, and they need to be talking that throughout the week, and Rocky has done them no favors here today.
2nd and 10. And Bakken's going to again with a big run, breaks a tackle at the 35. Look at this kid go past midfield, lowers his shoulder, and is all the way down to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, that right there is a dynamic. It was pull all the way, quarterback run all the way, so it became that quarterback ISO type play as far as the lead blocker by the back. And once he got through the secondary, the young Colt let it loose, and he took off. And I was wondering for a second there if you're going to start calling out he has a touchdown because they had some angles on him, but I didn't know if they were going to get him or not.
Well, every stride gets him about 4 or 5 yards. That kid is fun to watch when he tucks it. First down on the 42. The Rocky offense is moving the ball. Now he's going to try and throw, and he gets the pass off just in time before he is sacked. It was Alex Bastrachia who took him down, but I think he got the pass off in time.
Yeah, the 6'2", 244 end coming through gets him by the ankles, and a credit to Bakken as far as keeping his eyes down and knowing where his outlet is, because that was the guy he made the fly sweep fake to, then sitting in the flat, knowing that that's your outlet there at the end and able to spin around and try and at least get it to him in the territory to avoid a bad play. So now, hey, it's one of those things you talk about as a quarterback. Pick your weapons up, move on to live another day. It's 2nd and 10. You can live with that.
Varner into block, pass off to the right side. It is complete, short of the first down. And it'll set up about a 3rd and medium. Is this, at this point in the game, and at this spot on the field, 4-down territory?
You know, as we're approaching 3:30 left on the clock and climbing and going lower here, it could be crossing his mind. It'll probably really depend on, does he have a play on the call sheet that he likes, and what is the distance? Right now he is at that kind of that gray zone, 37-yard line.
3rd and 4. Bakken throws. Van Zee has the catch and the first down, tackled inside the 30. The drive continues. You give Bakken time to throw, and the kid can show his talent.
Yeah, I like it. Right here you'll see as he steps in, it's a looky route. It's an inside slant. He pushes off that back foot, so the inside guy runs kind of the inside defender's hip. then gets vertical. The outside guy will run a slant, and if that inside guy is open, they spin it in there. If not, they cover him up, but it opens up the slant on the outside. So it's really two slants, a lookie and a slant, and Bakken's reading it really, really well right now.
First and 10. Now he's got time. Nobody open. Flushed out. Still on his feet. Managed to gain a few yards and then took a shot on the sideline from Bastrachia.
Yeah, he did take a shot, and that's what you know, at this level, and as you look at him dropping back, and at this level, he keeps his poise, keeps his presence, keeps his eyes downfield, and then he turns and runs. But right there, it'd be wise just to kind of take a step out of bounds versus getting one in the ribs, especially at 6'5". You got a lot of lankiness running down that sidelines.
6'5", 205. Not a whole lot of meat on those ribs.
He might have had that weigh in when he had those rib pads even on, too. He is lean and lanky. Good-looking kid for the future for him.
2nd and 7, looking left all the way. Carroll secondary just doing a great job. And nearly picked off.
Yeah, you hit it right there, Peter. That's what they call, and as we look at it, and you get Bakken up close on this replay, it is a coverage sack downfield. You can't see it, but they are on him like magnets, and so there's nowhere for him to go. He's trying to buy time, but at the end of the day, you can't deliver when there's nobody open downfield.
Isaiah King from the cornerback position came in to drop Bakken.
You can see he's visibly been hurt now in the head as far as he's kind of lowering himself a little bit. Now he's got empty, so it's going to be a throwing situation.
3rd and 7. Over the middle, Van Z breaks a tackle, first down and then some, inside the 15 to about the 11. Well, if he doesn't break that tackle, I don't think he gets the first down.
No, great play by Van Z on a nice little in route. Carroll's trying to keep everything in front of them, worried about going over the top. And Rocky's been doing a good job as far as showing patience, and Bakken not getting greedy. So he hits the underneath route. Van Z makes a guy miss. Ends up setting up. This is the Bears' first chance at really getting some points on the board here.
Well, Tyrell McGee coming into today, the leading receiver for the Badland Bears, but it has been pretty much Van Z and Bakken. That has been the connection that has worked for Rocky. Now Varner trying to get to the outside, and instead lowers his shoulder and picks up a few on first down.
And Varner's going to be slow getting up. It's a read option. It's a give all the way. Varner, who's got speed to the outside, the Baker product. He was a North Dakota commit originally, went to North Dakota, transferred back to Rocky. He can really move when he gets on the outside and lower the shoulder, and right there he got driven into the ground and he's still down.
Yeah, that's 6'3", 290-pound Kyle Smith. He can move for his size, so that's a lot of beef drilling you into the turf.
I don't want to speculate on it, but he's holding his left shoulder, left arm pretty gingerly, so it could be, like you just mentioned, anytime you get one of the big guys landing on you and crushing you into the turf, those are usually some type of arms or shoulders that are at least need to go back over and get a little time for at the least.
1:21 to go in the third. Still no points on the board for Rocky, but this is the closest they have been. They're inside the 10. They can still get a first down without scoring. The ball's on the 8. And they start running the clock. You got 4 wide receivers. And he's going to throw into the end zone, and just great coverage. Nobody open.
Yeah, and right there you can tell the Carroll pressure. As far as Sam Sparks, the Billings senior product, is now in the backfield. Bakken drops back, throwing a quick 1-2-3, ball's gone. You know, the equivalent of a 3-step under center. In the gun, it should be a punch, step, and a 1 and gone, and he's still getting hit. So you can see the penetration that's happening for that Carroll defensive front.
3rd and 7. Van Z in motion. They roll Bakken to his right and throw into the corner of the end zone, and the catch is made. And now the question is, where do they spot it? He might still be short of the first down.
It looks like a 1st and goal. First and goal on the 1.
So now you got 4 chances. I would think they'll take 4 chances to get the 7.
I would agree. They're now in a position of 15-3. Here as we wind down the end of the third quarter, doesn't do them any good. But you'll see Varner's out. It'll be interesting. I don't know who is in. Can't read the number. Stacked backfield.
Now they got Mason Melby, the backup running back, and they're going to call his number as he follows his blockers. And he is a little bit closer, but a great stop by Carroll. David Anderson, the linebacker, kept him out of the end zone.
Yeah, they're going to try and rapid fire the lineups as Carroll's going to make some substitutions.
Carroll's not ready. Rocky's going to try and snap it quickly, and Coach Van Diest smartly calls timeout. One of the things I love about our announce position here, first of all, it is a beautiful press box in a stadium here at Nelson Stadium. But we have the visiting coaches in the booth right next to us, and you can sometimes hear and see their reaction. They're pounding the tables, they're pounding the windows, and they were screaming to snap it quickly because Carroll wasn't ready.
And if we were 2 doors down, we would see it on the other side, telling them to get themselves on the field quicker. So yeah, it's always exciting, especially when you have glass windows or glass walls in between, so you can see the animation of both staffs.
You know, we got glass on all sides. It's a sauna right now as the sun setting over Mount Helena, shining right on us. What has been just a picture-perfect day here in Helena at Nelson Stadium. Setting the scene, you got 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Carroll on top, 15-0. Rocky with their backup quarterback has yet to put any points on the board. And now Carroll with only 1 timeout left in the entire game after blowing that one.
Looking at where that ball's spotted, I don't know how the tip could be any closer to the goal line, but one thing, you mentioned the weather, it's really affected the special teams in the fact of Dylan Johnson for Rocky has not been able to punt into the wind. They have the wind now in the third. They're going to be going back into it, but it has died down. As you see, the flags on the goalpost are just now barely moving. The flags are still moving if you get it up in the air, but that might come into play as Rocky will be going into what wind is left here as it's dying down in the late afternoon. They got more important things on their mind right now, and that's second and very, very short.
Quarterback sneak, perhaps?
Yeah.
Here we go. And I think he's in. And they signal it. So Bakken with the touchdown run from a few inches out, and it is a 15-6 ball game. And so now, Sean, do they go for 2 or 1?
You know, you always like to try and keep yourself in the game. I would expect him to go for 1 just to keep it, because if you miss it, then you set yourself up just a mental deflation as far as how the fourth quarter can play out.
Right, because if you miss it, you're down 2 scores again.
Exactly.
It's almost as if, you would have gone for the field goal. So good call on your part. They are going to go for the extra point. Griff Ames is out there. And that's picture perfect as well. Straight through the uprights. We got ourselves a ball game. 15-7. Carroll ball when we come back.
Time to see all the ways Ford F-Series comes in first. Super Duty, first in its class in max horsepower, first in its class in standard torque, and first in its class in diesel fuel economy. So, when there's a truck with all these firsts, why waste a second on anyone else? During Truck Month, get 0% financing for 72 months or up to $8,859 total value on Super Duty. See your local Ford store today.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
Excited about Bobcat season? Trust us, so are we. Sometimes game day just can't get here soon enough. You could show up 12 hours before kickoff to show your colors, or you could get the new Bobcat banking card from First Interstate Bank. Find out more at bobcatbanking.com.
Well, with 16 seconds left in the third quarter, the score is now 15-7. Sean, we might be looking at a replay of what happened in Billings early in September. Carroll with the 2-score lead late in the second half, and slowly but surely, the Battling Bears came back. And they're going to bring it out of the end zone. Out to the 15 and taken down at about the 20-yard line. So no fireworks so far today from either kickoff return teams. Good coverage as the Carroll offense comes back out. They really had the game kind of within their grasp a few minutes ago. Carroll had the ball, chance to go up 3. They couldn't maintain a drive, and now look what we got.
Yeah, no question. We were calling it at midfield, a chance for them to really put it away, so to speak. I know there's a lot of football left, but instead they had to punt it. And credit to Rocky, 85-yard drive highlighted by Bakken's big run has them right back in the game here as we enter the fourth quarter. But no question, that last game is going to play on everyone's minds.
No, I'm thinking about Yogi Berra. It's deja vu all over again. And I'm sure those Carroll fans are thinking about it. Oh, and wow, Dylan Green took a shot at the 25-yard line. And he is still down.
Run.
That will do it for 3 quarters. 15-7, Carroll ball, 1 quarter left.
In the 1950s, people thought cigarettes were harmless. Today, it's e-cigarettes. Vaping is highly addictive. Plus, there are heavy metals, tin and aluminum, lead, formaldehyde, acetone, carcinogens, and toxic chemicals in the vapor. E-cigarettes are not regulated. Corporate tobacco hasn't changed their game, just their technology. If you want to quit, call the Quit line for free help and FDA-approved medications.
Rocky Mountain College is a comprehensive liberal arts college located in Billings, Montana. 90% of our students directly contribute to the area's growth through the school's community engagement projects, like equestrian studies, physician's assistant studies, and aviation. The college's student athletes compete in the NAIA in 17 different sports, and Battling Bear Athletics is highly competitive in all sports offered. Rocky Mountain College is poised for the next stage of its 138-year pursuit of the highest expectations of excellence.
There are some things in life that require, demand something special.
These are the times when you must seek a steak that is truly worthy of the accomplishment at hand. And when no mere steak will do, the Silver Star Steak Company has your back. They use only the best certified Angus beef, delicately prepared with as much love as your occasion deserves.
When you deserve the best, the Silver Star Steak Company has a steak worthy of you.
Welcome back to Nelson Stadium here in Helena, Montana. In 2 weeks on the Coles Montana Media Group and SWX, Southern Utah will be hosting Montana State at 12 noon Mountain on Coles Montana Media Group and SWX. And be sure to catch our next game, November 12th, Western at Rocky. First play of the fourth quarter. Was there a loose ball, perhaps? There may have been a fumble that Carroll had to fall on.
That brings up 3rd and short. Again, they're getting good momentum. They're winning first down. But as we enter this fourth quarter, or now into the fourth quarter now, Rocky, we talked about them needing to play 60 minutes. They have maybe not quite played the first 10 to 15 to 20, but they're trying to pick it up and play the end of the game. And both teams are trying to establish the run game. Carroll succeeding massively. We'll see if it can maintain in the fourth. And then both quarterbacks, they've not only become game managers, they're starting to take some of the game onto their shoulders as we enter the fourth.
And how about this? Not a single turnover either. He's not going to get it.
Nope.
You had to get to about the 30-yard line, and he got stopped short. They finally zero in on Major Ali. And he's going to be about a yard or two short. So the script is playing out the exact same way we saw this in Billings.
Yeah, that right there, they went back to their bread and butter, and a credit to Rocky. They were run dogging or run blitzing, so to speak, the linebackers, and you could see Cole and Chase and Bill and Jace, all of these guys up front, the Mike, Sam, Will, all rallying around, and it forces this punt.
Torgerson with a beauty. Van Zee's going to let it bounce at the 27. Finally picks it up at the 15 after he saw it headed toward his end zone. And it will be Rocky ball at the 18-yard line. 13:30 to go here in the fourth, and so they are now down one score. I like what you said, Sean, about staying in the game. You know, they try and go for that 2 and miss. It would be 15-6. Instead, it's 15-7. It's a one-score game.
Yeah, it's a one-score game, and you can feel the momentum of this game has now fully swung in Rocky's favor, and we'll see if they're going to take advantage of it, and they're going to go into an empty set, and we'll see if Carroll can spy and keep Bakken under control.
They fake the sweep, and Bakken's going to keep it. And if Bakken's going to have to try and shed some tacklers and go right up the gut, that's not his game. You get some open space, he can do something.
His runs, the stat line might show he's ran for about 75 yards rushing, but those have been scramble runs, one called run for the most part. Otherwise, when they've been calling his number to keep it, you're right, he has not made hay, and they haven't really made that a living, and I wouldn't want to make that a full diet of my 6'5" sophomore.
Cody Varner still out for the Badland Bears. Sam Sparks, the backup freshman from Billings High, senior high, is still in. And that's the throw, Sean, that Bakken has been able to complete on occasion. When he's throwing that long distance to the sideline, they're just not getting a whole lot out of it.
Yeah, it's little out routes. They're dinking and diming, and hopefully you're going to assume that Coach Petrino, they're going to run an out and up down the sidelines on a single receiver side, and think Carroll's done a good job. They've stayed within their game plan. They've made Rocky earn everything. Even the touchdown drive was 85 yards of earned yardage, and they got to earn another 5 here just to keep the chains going right now. So they're going to try and play everything in front of them, but they're one-on-one down here to the bottom, again to the X-receiver.
Yeah, it's that 3rd down and 5. Bakken looking to his receiver to the left all the way. Incomplete, but there's a late flag. Hold on.
Yeah, that was realistically the receiver number 80 came out. He was going to run a hitch. It was the one-on-one to the X to this wide one-on-one receiver at the bottom as he was, and you can't see it really there on film, but right before that play happened, the defensive back was right inside of the zone, past 5 yards, and they're going to call that just about every time from the back judge.
Well, that's going to be on Vince DiGianardo, the defensive back, the senior from Polson, Montana, up by Flathead Lake. An opportunistic defensive back. He's got a couple interceptions on the season. He just jumped the gun there.
Yeah, if he was looking more, he might have. Now the receiver's kind of working into him almost like a block, but he might have been able to take that one back.
So the drive continues, 1st down and 10. He just missed his target. When you have an open receiver like that, you've got to lead him up the field.
Yeah, you can see, and we'll probably see some fundamental flaw here as far as he throws his front off arm angle. His footwork is trying to taking him to the outside. That was a slant on the outside and a flat route, and you got to lead that flat route, especially into the boundary. You don't have a lot of real estate to work with. You got to put it right on him, and he was trying to lead him up high, and he had a big loping release, and as a result, they lose 1st down, which has been a key to all these Carroll and Rocky good drives. They win 1st downs.
So it's 2nd and 10. Bakken looking to his left, and again he has Van C, this time more towards the middle of the field. Might be about a yard short of the 1st down.
I like it. The Carroll, they're trying to get pressure on him, but when you take a 3-step and you're running these little 5-yard, when he's been getting hit is when they start taking the long developing crossing routes, the man-to-man beaters. Now they're trying to just eat up the zones that Carroll's giving them and playing, even when they are playing man, just hitch up in front of them and trying to just eat up small chunks of yardage.
11.5 to play, 4th quarter. 3rd and 1. This is a big 3rd down. Bakken's going to keep it, and he may have lunged forward for just enough yardage.
He's 6'5". He was leaning out with it, and he needed every inch. If they're going to get it, he would have used every inch of it. That was, again, a designed run by him, a designed pull, and he does not really drive people over, so that hole had better be there. But it's going to be 4th, and they're just going to stay out there in offensive set.
Well, I think they're going to measure it, and now the Carroll fans are livid, and I think they've got a bit of a beef because the official spotted it, and Rocky's center, Andrew Ponce, pounced right on the ball as if they were going to run a play, and he nudged that football forward a few inches, if not a foot.
Every center does it as far as grabbing it and kind of resetting it in his grip. Now, granted, I wouldn't expect an official then to not put it back down in the right spot, but they didn't.
They did not move it. Wow.
That was almost a yard over.
The Ponce moved that ball more than a few inches. And, well, smart play from the junior. He got away with it. And so it is a 1st down and 10 for Rocky. You could tell they were going to go for it on 4th down as well.
Yeah, Coach Petrino was going to say, hey, we're 6 inches, 8 inches away. Little did you know they were almost a yard over. He should have been calling for a measurement, going the other direction.
5 wide receivers for Bakken. You can sense it. This is a huge possession, and it's intercepted. Batted down by the defenseman, and it is picked off by Carroll.
Those are one of the most difficult plays to make. A batted ball, you're trying to get your hands up in the air and then turn around and come down with a pass. It's a very difficult play to make, as you can see. Even the cameraman gets faked out thinking it's going to that flat on that quick little out route, and they're able to bring it down. There is a flag down here on the far side of Carroll, but if they did do any interference, they would have to pick that up, and they are. It looks like they're picking it up and moving on. Carroll ball.
Well, it was hard to see which defender came away with it. I think it may have been either Bastaracci or Smith. One of them got their hand up, and the other one came down with the interception. And that's where that sidearm may have hurt Bakken just a little bit.
Yeah, you'd like to be, if you're 6'5", take advantage of it. It's not really, it's a myth of quarterback play about throwing straight overhand, but you do have to have the whip up above your ear. And if you start throwing sidearm, you become a Doug Flutie, you become a 5'9", 5'10" quarterback, throwing through windows.
First turnover of the game, and now the momentum has shifted entirely back to Carroll, as it is 1st down and 10 on their own, on Rocky's 30.
Yeah, they're going to try and see what they can go back to some of their ground and pound. So 26, as far as Ryan Walsh, the Riverside, Washington, Ryan Walsh, I'm sorry, the original starter of it. We've seen a platoon of backs going through, but he's trying to hit it, jump cut, trying to be patient on it and pressing his way in. Only gets 1, so let's see what Carroll does here on 2nd and long.
Well, they brought Major Ali back in. 2nd and 9, 10:15 to go in the ballgame. And they give it to Ali, who grinds his way forward for about 3 or 4.
I like the way Ali, we've been saying it throughout the game. You'll see here, Ali hits this thing with a full head of steam. He's a trackster coming through. Hits it with a full head of steam, is able to keep the legs churning and drive, and sets up a 3rd and medium. Once again, Rocky goes to that corner blitz coming off the edge, but he was just late to get there, and that's because of how fast Ali was hitting it.
Well, at this point, if you brought Coulter Hamill back out on the field, he'd be kicking from beyond 40 yards. He's made 1 all year. Of course, that one, the memorable one, here at home against Montana Tech. They would love to get the 1st down. Gustafson's going to keep it, and he is going to be a bit shy of the 1st down. Got a few more yards, so it's going to be a bit of a shorter kick if they bring Hamill out, which I would certainly love to get the points on the board, because now you're back to a 2-score game.
Oh, definitely, and it looks like they're thinking the exact same thing. As you watch this replay, Rocky did a good job. They were doing a quarterback draw, but they ended up, Rocky dogged both outside linebackers and was able to plug it up, hold them to a 4th and short, which in turn is going to set up about a 40-yard field goal.
Yeah, it might be just a bit shy at about a 39-yarder.
Not much breeze, but what is there is kind of blowing right to left, but at his back.
Good snap. The kick has the distance, but it is wide left. And so Rocky dodges a bullet. They fumble, they throw the pick in their own territory, but Carroll can't capitalize.
Excited about Bobcat season? Trust us, so are we. Sometimes game day just can't get here soon enough. You could show up 12 hours before kickoff to show your colors, or you could get the new Bobcat banking card from First Interstate Bank. Find out more at bobcatbanking.com.
Picking up pieces pieces of my life, sometimes there's ones I just can't find, but they found a home with you. And when I think about the things that we've been through, I know just one thing is true. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you.
Opportunity is everywhere. That is why I love my job at Opportunity Bank of Montana. I get to help my neighbors with business and agriculture loans, including new equipment loans. I understand that people need a bank they can rely on. You see, I grew up here with the eastern high plains out our front door and the crazy mountains in our backyard. Come see me, Brandy, or one of my colleagues at Opportunity Bank of Montana. Your local bank, your opportunity.
The Battling Bears of Rocky Mountain College are still in this thing with 8:34 to go. It's a 15-7 score. Peter Young along with Sean Kraft. The momentum had shifted all the way over to Carroll moments ago. Sean, I think it's now back with the Battling Bears after that missed field goal.
Oh, no question it's up for them to try and get it set up right here as they're going to go again to that quick little, in this case, they had a little rub route on the outside, but try and get to move those chains and get back in the flow of the game. But you're right, they captured it with that missed field goal.
Reed with the reception. Let me ask you another one. I know I'm looking forward to perhaps a bit too much. You got 8:15 to go. If they score quickly, do you go for two?
Well, every coach has that play chart on in their hip pocket about when to go for two and when not to. As you see, that ball sails out of bounds on good coverage.
But I guess you might as well, because if you're down 2 or 1, you're going to need a field goal.
Yeah,
right? So
and knowing and little asterisks are on those things, though. I mean, some people use it middle of the fourth, some people use it early in the fourth, some people you've seen use it third or second, which is probably wrong. But also, will you be down here again? And Rocky's really showing not a huge amount of ability to get down into scoring position. I think you got to try and tie it when you get it, even if they scored on this next play right here. You got to probably try and tie it when you have a chance.
8:05 left, 2nd down and 4. They're on their own 33-yard line. 3 receivers to the left. That's where he was looking. Nobody there. And he takes a shot, and there is a flag down. He's going to be short of the first down, but we're going to have to sort things out.
Usually holding there in the back. We'll see it here on the replay if we can see the hold coming around the outside. As Bakken, once he looks there, like we've seen, if he doesn't that's why they're having so much success going to that single receiver side. It's that one read, get rid of it, and ball's gone. You don't have to make a lot of distinct reads or drop downs.
Well, you're right. It definitely was holding. It was Barnett who took him down. So it's 4th and 4. And you've got plenty of time left at 7:55. There's just no way you go for it here on 4th down.
No, you have plenty of time, and in high school, this isn't NFL-wise where the clock's stopping with the chains moving. High school and college, I should say, are both with that chain stop. You got plenty of time inside those 1-2 minutes left in the game.
Much better result for Johnson on this one as he gets a friendly roll down to about the 31-yard line. So 7:30 left. Carroll ball. Once again, this Battling Bears defense has got to come up big.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
American-made Cooper tires sold by a locally grown company. Right now, you can take advantage of great offers on Cooper tires from Tire-Rama with rebates up to $70 now through October 31st. And of course, each purchase comes with all the extras you've come to expect from Tire-Rama. Free rotations for life, pressure checks, and the list goes on. With 45 locations across the Northwest, we're sure to have a Tire-Rama location near you. Just Google Tire-Rama.com. Tire-Rama, more than just a tire store.
My name's Charlie, and I've been rodeoing for about 12 years. You learn to love it, and you grow up with it all the time, and you have to get hooked on a rodeo by somebody, and that's your family. When I lost my granddad, it was pretty rough. Everybody loved him so much, and if he didn't smoke, he'd probably still be here. Athletes try to stay in the best of shape as they can, and smoking's not going to get you there. So I decided to stand up and help the Montana rodeo that I love break away from tobacco.
Back in Helena, 15-7 our score. 1st and 10 for Carroll with 7:30 to go. We want to thank our corporate champions for the effort in getting today's game on the air, as Carroll's going to keep it on the ground, which we will probably see a heavy dose of this as they try and get a nice long clock-chewing drive.
Yeah, now if you want to take a look and you see this last play by Ryan Walsh running the ball off tackle, if you want to see what Coach Allett has been circling throughout this entire game, because now it's your get-to box. You can't just go 3 and out. There's 7 minutes left in this game. You need to put together some drives. Therefore, you need first downs to chew that clock up. That's a decent start on first down, getting about 3 to 4 yards.
Under 7 to play. Gustafson's going to keep it, and he gets shot at about the 37. Maybe picked up a few yards. It's 3rd and manageable. First Interstate Bank, the Helena Independent Record, Opportunity Bank, Lithia Chrysler Dodge,
Run
Jeep
by
Helena,
the quarterback.
U.S. Bank, and Placer Motors again. Thanks, guys, for your support.
Yeah, Jason Baker, we talked about him getting kind of run over a little bit on that tight end play, on that pass down the middle. Really, arguably one of the longest pass plays we've had today. Well, he's returning the favor right back on the quarterback there, setting up a 3rd and 2.
Adrian Ali back in the game. They call his number, and he is stopped. We have seen a couple big 3rd down holds by this Badland Bears defense.
Yeah, they got to punt that away. That's the field position game now. Slight wind at the back. Let Torgerson pin him down deep. And I will say the thing you got to be telling the Rocky returners, you know, they always look at this as a special teams. There's 10 to 15 yards of what we used to call hidden yardage in there. You got to field that ball. You can't let them bounce around. At least call a fair catch and run up and field it. Otherwise, that thing's going to roll and spin to about 15 yards, and we'll see if they can get underneath this one.
Boy, they nearly blocked it, but a beautiful punt. And Van Zee drops it at the 10, and Carroll falls on it. What a huge turnover. Van Zee drops the punt at the 10.
Boy, that ball was in the air. That was up above our eye level up here on the 3rd floor, and that thing was in the air. A great punt by Torgerson. Van Zee's had a great game, and as you can see right there, it just went right through the wickets and nailed down, and good coverage by Carroll, and that's setting them up on the 10-yard line with 5:19 left, already ahead by 8 points.
Isaiah King with the recovery. And so Rocky nearly blocked the punt. It's a 1-score game. They're going to get the ball back with over 5 to play. And now it's Carroll 1st and goal. Sean, if they score here, that's your play of the game.
Yeah, definitely, and you hate to see it. Like I said, Van Zee's had such a good game as far as been the go-to target, but right there he got to drop the eyes, lots of the eyes off the ball.
Gustafson's going to keep it. Bounces to the outside. Look at this. He's going to get in. Gustafson, touchdown. How quickly things can change.
Knowing Coach Allett, knowing their run stuffing, run dogging the linebackers, he's going to tuck it and pull it to the outside. Great block there on the perimeter. He's able to bounce it and read and just get inside that pylon. And as you said, Peter, that's one of the plays. Unless Carroll can get on track, and it took them a long time to get their 1 touchdown, that could be one of the nails in the coffin for him.
How about the second half for Tanner Gustafson? The long touchdown throw to Phone, and now the touchdown run, the scamper from about 10 yards out. And it is a 22-7 score. Carroll on top.
Yeah, definitely. Rocky had everything going for him. Again, Carroll, they stuffed him on a 3 and out, and that just, I mean, the game, the season, everything riding on it, the momentum back in Rocky's court, and just like that, it's snuffed out with a booming punt by Torgerson, and like you said, just getting it off in time, and the result is a first down Carroll, and they're able to punch it in on the next play.
Well, special teams has clearly been dominated by Carroll. They get the 2-point conversion. They have not allowed any kind of significant punt or kickoff return. They get the fumble on that punt.
And even in addition to that, when Rocky has been punting into the wind, they had some really, really poor punts. And so kept that real position, field position. When during the first half, when no team could really score, Carroll had the advantage in those bad punts by the Rocky punter.
Well, indeed, at this point with a 22-7 score, that is your play of the game. It was 15-7, over 5 minutes to play. And they nearly block the punt. And instead they fumble it. And then next play from scrimmage, Carroll gets in for the score.
Yeah, Ollie, you're always told as a returner as you start to drift back, if you're going to plant your heels, as Carroll's going to kick off here to the dangerous kick return unit.
It's been that kind of an afternoon for the special teams, hasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, you always like that as a returner, and we were just talking about not letting it bounce, but when you plant your heels inside the 15 or inside the 10, every great returner says if that punt's going to drive you back, then you got to let it go. It's going to go over your head and hopefully bounce into the end zone and not lock you down on the 1 or the 5-yard line, but that time he made a choice to try and field it, and it backfired on him.
Well, Rocky's got 3 timeouts left. It's a 22-7 score. So you're still down by 2 at some point. If they do make some kind of a miraculous comeback or an attempt, they're going to have to go for 2. With a quick score here, if they get one, you're still down to 8. You're still in the position you were in about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, no question. They're looking for something that's enabled in Gustafson, and there it is, a crossing route, stop the clock, picks up 15.
So Van Zee trying to make up for it on the offensive end. It's too bad because he's had a great day receiving.
Yeah, he's been really Bakken so far as his go-to target, and he's been able to really provide that safety valve that the young quarterback needs.
Under 5 to play at the 40-yard line. Bakken steps up into it, going to Reed, and it's nearly caught at the 25, and that was really good defense by Gregory.
Yeah, one thing Joe said throughout the entire game, the way they've been dinking and dunking, the hitches and the outs and the slant bubbles and the slant flat routes, all these combinations that Rocky's been doing. Carroll's done a good job of letting everything play in front of him and then rally back as we see the end of that play. They've been able to get in lock stride, so they must have some type of feeling that we can turn our hips and run with those vertical routes, keep everything in front of us. Let's see them, make them earn it. Because they've made them have a hard time. Really, one of the only over-the-top balls got called back on that interference call.
Second down. Bakken's got a lot of green ahead of him. Running to the 45, trying to get to the 50. Run out of bounds, but not before picking up nearly 10. Stops the clock with 4:39 to play. Still short of the first down. 3rd and 1.
Run. And the Weibo sophomore, he's at least stepped in here for the injured Chase White out of Shelby. He has stepped in and done an admirable job and as far as getting the chains moving. He's had a lot of drops. He's had some bad protection at times. But overall, you got to be encouraged for the future for Rocky. But they're not thinking future. Right now, they're thinking 52 yards to get in the end zone.
4:15 to play. Bakken just needs a yard, and he's got it. And again, guess who? Van Zee. Clock will stop briefly while they move the chains. It's sitting at 4:09. They get right back up on the line of scrimmage. Varner's still out. You got Mason Melby in there for protection. Pass is complete to the far side. 3:57 to go.
And we haven't seen a lot of pocket movement out of Rocky. Well, that time they did. They did a good job rolling him out, letting him see the read again to the outside. He fires a strike. They at least keep in the win first down and keep it moving, and he gets out of bounds.
Taylor Schwartz with the reception. Now the clock is running again. Rocky still with 3 timeouts left. Pass is complete. Over the middle, inside the 30. Second catch in a row for Schwartz, so it's a first down. Spotted at the 28.
Yeah, they're finding, we haven't seen them attack it much today, but they're finding green grass over the middle.
Well, if they had snapped it earlier, you had 12 men on the field for Carroll. They go into the end zone and a flag on the play. The catch is made, and it's a touchdown.
Great throw and catch and a good You know, he didn't take it up over the top. Instead, he underthrew it a little bit to the inside. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but it gives the receiver the distinct advantage of being able to catch that ball and go, at least go back and make a play on the ball. And the corner got lost there and was able to get it into the end zone.
That's the third straight reception for Schwartz, and it's a touchdown. Makes it a 22-13 ball game.
Key extra point here, so that'll set up the onside kick.
First touchdown of the season for Schwartz. Kick is good, so we have got a one-score ball game. If we can take a look again at that touchdown reception. Well, we don't actually have the replay of that last score, but it's Schwartz with the touchdown reception. Makes it a 22-14 score with 3:17 to go in the ballgame.
Well, you've been mentioning special teams throughout. There's going to be one more very, very important special team. Now, Rocky still has all 3 timeouts, so even if they miss, which would be interesting, they have the 3 timeouts. They don't necessarily need to do the onside kick if they can turn around and play hard defense.
Well, with 3:17 to go, it's a one-score game. We're going to hold off right now on trying to talk about who our player of the game is because we have a lot of football left to go. And if Rocky does decide to go with the onside kick and they get the ball back, hold everything because Bakken here in this fourth quarter has looked cool as a cucumber. I mean, remember, he just took them 80 yards in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, and they attacked the middle of the field, something they haven't done a lot, and I don't know whether or not Carroll's still been anticipating the outside hitches and the slants and the outside verticals. Well, now they started getting the deeper crossing routes, and they were there, and here they're setting up. They've done this bunch kickoff every time, and they've exploded out of it. So this isn't necessarily the onside look, and they're going to kick it deep with 3 timeouts. It's not a bad move by Coach Petrino.
Unless they're disguising it really well. Nope, they're going to kind of pooch it. That's still a live ball, and Carroll grabs it at about the 28-yard line.
That was a great play. I believe that was Arnston, the Helena High coach's son, as that thing was live. And it looked like it was going to take a bad bounce and spin back, and he grabbed it and took it out of bounds, preserving what could have been a catastrophe for the Carroll special teams unit.
Well, and you know, it is a great kick because psychologically you see them kick it in the air and you relax just momentarily and thinking, okay, they're not doing an onside kick. But that one was close.
Yeah, so here you've seen, we've really seen as far as the touchdown was off of the punt, the muffed punt by Rocky. They haven't had to generate a lot of offense the last few drives, much like the first time they played. So they know they need to move the chains here once or twice to end this game.
So 1st and 10 for Carroll. And Bertelsen with the stop. 3:10 to go.
Yeah, Bertelsen has just been all over, and that's a timeout, Rocky. He has just been run filling, and that's where play action, you've got to eventually say, and it's 2nd and 10, you've got to eventually say we're going to try and pull this thing out, or we're going to punt it away and try and win it with our defense, knowing that they can't drive the entire length again. Those are what's Coach Van Diest. Let them use their timeouts. We'll be content to punt it down, or he's going to say let's try and win this thing right here because one first down realistically almost can put it into it.
Well, there you see the storyline so far and where we're at. 3:10 to go, 22-14. Really, the only difference between this game and then the game they played in Billings at this point is it was 20-14, Carroll on top, because they had missed that extra point. Today they got the 2-point conversion. So if you're a Carroll fan or if you're Coach Mike Van Diest, at least you know if they can't score or keep this drive going and Rocky does score again, the best they can do is tie and go into overtime.
Exactly, and that's the last thing you would have thought a couple of minutes ago. All the momentum after that touchdown was with Carroll, but I'll tell you, Bakken took the steam right back out of this senior night crowd.
2nd and 9. All right, we got a big 3rd down coming up, Sean.
Yeah, and it looks like, based on 2nd down being kind of that, quote, throwaway down, Coach Van Diest and Coach Howlett have agreed that we're going to have them burn their timeouts. We're going to have them, punt the ball back and make them drive the length of the field and see what they can do against our defense.
So they've got 2 left. It's 3:01 to go. You think they're not even going to throw on this third down?
I don't. That's the thing. And there's two ways to look at it too. One of them is we're winning to build momentum. I mean, we've even read, and we were talking, there's 37 true freshmen on the Carroll roster. They have a small senior class. They want to get winning instilled back in here with these guys. So any way, shape, or form, because otherwise, we got to win the game. And other people would say, what do you got to lose? You're not going to the playoffs. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. You'd throw the football here. But I would always default to, what do I like in front of me? What's my call sheet say? Do I have something, whether it be throw or pass, that'll pick up 4 yards? If so, call it. I don't care what it's going to be.
We're going to find out right now. Major Ali in the backfield. 3rd and a long 3. Gustafson's going to keep it. And he's going to get the first down and then some. That could be the ball game. He is tackled at the 45. And how appropriate, with all the running these quarterbacks have done, that might do it.
Yeah, Gustafson, a gutsy call by Howlett, in the fact of not quite to say, that's a gutsy call to run the ball, but who you had running the ball. He's not going to break any tackles. He had 2 receivers to that side. They both did great jobs blocking downfield. He pulled it on the read option and took off running.
Well, I think the votes have been cast now, Sean, that Gustafson's your player of the game. He picks up that crucial 3rd down. Carroll keeps the ball. He had the rushing touchdown and the touchdown throw here in the second half. Has done a great job of not only filling in for Linder, but potentially leading Carroll to a home win.
Yeah, no question. Gustafson has really not managed the game. He has excelled in this game as far as dropping balls. The Fawn pass was a phenomenal pass, buying time and running the ball for the touchdown. He's really done more than just been that dreaded game manager that you want to be called as a quarterback.
Well, Carroll just called their last timeout with 2:25 to go. Rocky has 1. It's 1st and 10. Conceivably, Rocky could get the ball back, but they're not going to have a whole lot of time, nor any timeouts.
Yeah, both coaching staffs have a chart, much like we were talking that 2-point chart. You also have a kill the clock chart. What can you do to get out of it? And usually it's, so a certain amount of minutes and seconds if they have 0, 1, 2, 3 timeouts. And right now with 2:25 and 1 timeout, I'd be hard-pressed to think that the clock would be able to run out like that. So, yeah, but what it does, what that first down did is when they do punt it, there will be minimal to little time if they run the clock right and really use good clock management here at the end. It's been a good one. The wind has died down, and Rocky ended up trying to play 60 minutes like we thought, and just coming up short here on a couple plays. And as we say, we're not saying the game's over, but for all intensive purposes, Carroll should have some good clock management and finish it.
So are they going to take a knee 3 straight times, you think?
No, they're going to run the football because there's going to be a timeout called right after this, and ball security is of the utmost. That's what's being preached in the Carroll huddle. And there's the timeout by Rocky.
Well, they handed off to Major Ali. It almost has the effect of taking a knee because he may have lost about a yard on the play.
Yeah, no question. They'd like to. I mean, with the clock, when they'll get going again, they'll be able to burn off another minute and a half. So they'll have to end up punting this football if they don't get another first down.
So no timeouts left for either team. Clock stopped at 2:19. You look at these teams' schedules for the remainder of the season, and Rocky may be watching their playoff hopes dwindle right here at Nelson Stadium. Because if they don't win today, they got Montana Tech at home, who's ranked 8th in the nation, one of the best defenses in the country. Then you're on the road at number 12 ranked Eastern Oregon, and you finish up at home against number 21 Montana Western. So the deck was already stacked against you a bit, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to take care of business here today at Carroll. You talk about the mystique. Well, we were talking about this before the game, and it's kind of a two-edged sword because the Carroll players used to have this, you don't want to really say arrogance, but there was a confidence that we're going to win. This is the Carroll way. We always have good teams. The last 2 years they have it. But also for the opposing teams coming in here to Nelson Stadium, you almost knew, well, that bus ride home is going to be a long one. We're going to get our butt kicked.
Yeah, how many times have you read over the last year and a half, 2 seasons, somebody beating Carroll and snapping some type of streak.
Right,
and that's what it is, and celebrating massively because they knocked off Carroll. And that's a credit to what Coach Van Diest and Coach Hogan and Coach Howlett have done.
Gustafson with the keeper gets out to about the 50-yard line. So it's going to bring up a third down. Play clock at about 37. Game clock at 2:07. So if they do it right, this next play will happen at about the minute-and-a-half mark.
Yeah,
and then they'll have to punt.
Exactly. Then they'll let it clock again, and they'll be punting with about a minute left, which is a lot of time. We just haven't seen them being able to generate the big plays. However, all it takes is one slip on an outside, you're one-on-one, the safeties can't get over the top. I mean, there's matchups that they've been trying to exploit, and they just haven't had any success with. Doesn't mean that they can't with, 20, 30 seconds left.
3rd and 5, Major Ali with the call, and he gets nowhere. So it's 4th and 5. Play was whistled dead before the ball came loose.
It's so hard. You hear as a coaching staff, get up, and wind the clock, as far as the play clock, and they did. But a lot of times they're trying to rip at the ball, and it just wastes seconds technically on the defensive side. And they'll be kicking the ball here with about 45 seconds left in the game when the punt should take place.
And remember, we've got some dangerous returners back at the 10, Shinola and Van Zee. Game clock at 45 seconds. And I think they're just fine with that penalty, delay of game on Carroll. They let the play clock run out. And that'll move them back 5 yards.
They came close to getting a block the last time. We were talking about that ended up being the muffed punt. We'll see if they, again, either set up a return or try and go after it. They're using kind of a radar punt look.
44 seconds to go. And we got a penalty. Hold on.
He's getting back far enough now. He's doing a drop. Torgerson, the punter, is doing a drop like you're trying to pooch it and land it, almost like you would a wedge shot in golf. He's back far enough now. He better let it boom now. As far as, that last wedge shot landed at about the 20-yard line, so there's no reason to try and wedge and nail him down. Now he's got to unleash it, and realistically, aim for the out-of-bounds line at about the 20 to 15 is what they would like to do at Carroll, and conversely at the Rocky side, throw another one of those short lob, punts down the middle of the field and see what they can do on a return team.
Right, despite what happened last time with Van Zee, they would love a return here. All right, so Torgerson is standing at about his own 21. Now Van Zee and Shinola have moved up to the 15. They're going for it, and they don't get it. It's a beauty by Torgerson. Van Zee has it. Another tough reception at about the 16-yard line. You got 36 seconds to go in the ball game, and they've got to go about 84 yards.
Boy, what a punt by Torgerson when you needed it most. There he did uncork one, and it was high enough. Van Zee really didn't have a lot of pressure. They were protecting so much. He had a couple gunners coming down on him, but he realistically could have made some hay off that one most likely, but he didn't know it was so high that regardless, it sets him up at the 16-yard line with 36 seconds.
Well, Jacob Bakken, this is your moment. 1st and 10. Throws to the sideline. Shinola has it. Gain of only a few, but it stops the clock with 32 seconds.
You always like to get them confidence and get them moving. A lot of people use a draw, especially against a 3-man front, to try and see if they can't pop one and get it going, knowing that they have another play called immediately. It's a 2-play package. There they threw the out route, but 4 seconds off and 3 yards, that's just not going to get it done. They got to start stretching the field a little bit.
32 seconds to play. Here comes pressure. He steps up, throws it deep, going for Reed, and it's way short and in and out of the hands of his receiver. At the last second, I think Gregory might have tipped it.
That's exactly what we're talking about, Bakken. 3-man rush. He got pressured. Great pressure off the outside. As you'll see here, Bakken moves up into the pocket, buys more time, and uncorks it. He finds the single coverage downfield, and he actually underthrew it to where the receiver could have came back and at least got an interference. Now, obviously, it's a 10-yard penalty, so if you're Carroll, you're taught right here, if you're burned, you're dragging them down. You're not going to get burned for the catch.
24 seconds to play, 3rd and 7. Here comes pressure, and the pass is tipped once again.
Yeah, I can't say enough. We know the quarterback always gets the glory and is the player of the game, but that defensive front, you could pick either one of them, or all three or all four of them on the 4-man front. They have done a lights-out job throughout the game.
Well, I believe that time it was Barnett getting his hands up there in the passing lane. Last shot for Rocky with 20 seconds to go. It's 4th down. They need 7. Bakken with time, and it is picked off, intercepted at the 30. Isaiah King is going to take it to the house, and that is going to do it.
Yeah, great read coming up from the safety slot. Bakken staring it down in the middle of the field, but he had to. He was forced to go to the outside, work himself up. You'll see him in the pocket. He works up. He fires a dart down the middle, but the safety's hovering over the top, jumped it, took off, and he had nothing but green grass on the left side of the field.
First interception of the season for King, and as a team, that is their 8th, because they had 2 today. And so a tough way to end this one for Jacob Bakken, who really did a nice job filling in for the veteran White and kept them in this game until the final few minutes. So there's 9 seconds left. Hamill on for the extra point. And your score is 28-14. And the hold is muffed, so no extra point. And it doesn't really matter at this point as Hamill loses his helmet.
It doesn't. It doesn't to everybody who's watching, and the crowd is still kind of milling around and celebrating, but it matters to one guy out on the field. As you can see him throw his hat down, Coach Van Diest, ever the competitor, throwing his hat down on a muff, 28-14, 29-14, it means nothing, but it did matter to him. So that just kind of shows you the mentality of what he has just instilled in this program, and now he goes out and coaches up the kickoff cover unit and gets that ready to go. So, and really on the other side, hats off to Coach Petrino. We do look at the schedule going forward, and it does look like a little bit of a Frontier Conference murderer's row, but hats off to him to take a rocky position where your head coach left, will go to Montana State, and really plug yourself in, continue to at least churn out some victories and try and get themselves in at least the conversation. I mean, they were ranked at one point this season. Now they're receiving votes. They're obviously going to drop out of that poll, but still a very competitive team, and they've got a lot to play for themselves here over the next few games.
So was that a subtle kind of foreshadowing Murderer's Row reference to the 1930s Yankees? Are you saying that the Cubs haven't won the World Series since 1908, haven't been to the World Series since 1945, are going to win tonight?
I don't know, because Kershaw's on the mound for the other guys. So,
yeah, he is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch, as this should be about it. We've got one more play, 5 seconds to go. And so on the season, Carroll will improve to 3-4, and Rocky will drop to 4-4. And doubtful they'll still receive any more votes. Next week, Carroll hosts MSU Northern, a bit of a revenge game for them as they got blown out at Northern a few weeks ago. I don't know if an announcer has ever said that before about Carroll and MSU Northern.
Yeah, that was
certainly
actually
not the Van Diest.
That definitely came out of left field, and that's what I think really sent shockwaves through everybody watching the Carroll program.
Well, it's one more reception for Jace Van Dee, and that will do it. Your final score, 28-14. Carroll gets the win. Stay with us. We're going to take another break here, and we'll recap this one when we come back.
My name is Carson. Rodeo has become a very big part in my life. To win a rodeo, you've got to be really dedicated, so I have to stay in shape. I really like when you're getting done with a run, because sometimes you have the highs and your lows in rodeo, but when you do good, it's really a great feeling. Tobacco, in my opinion, doesn't belong in rodeo. I mean, you can look at all the statistics, and it's just been a damaging, destructive product. Tobacco doesn't take center stage, not in my rodeo.
Truck Month. Time to see all the ways Ford F-Series comes in first. F-150, your first choice for safety. The first and only light-duty pickup with an available EcoBoost engine. And first and only pickup with Pro Trailer Backup Assist. So when there's a truck with all these firsts, why waste a second on anyone else? During Truck Month, get 0% financing for 72 months or up to $10,773 in total value on F-150. See your local Ford store today.
Dedication. It's the difference between being a Grizz fan and being a real Grizz fan. And now, thanks to First Interstate Bank, it's even easier to show your true colors. Get special rates, discounts on Grizz gear, and tons of other members-only benefits without the hassle of a 24/7 paint job. The new Grizz Banking debit card from First Interstate Bank. Find out more at grizzbanking.com.
So a big win for the Fighting Saints here at home on the season. They are 2-1 at home at Nelson Stadium. The one loss was really kind of a brutal one to Southern Oregon. They lost by 20. But they get the 14-point win and a bit of a revenge against Rocky, who beat them on the road 21-20.
Well, definitely on a senior type night, this is why you want to finish your career. You're brought in here to win football games, and that's what this class did. They've had some missteps and some misfortune lately, but really when you look back on this game, the bigger picture, Rocky needed to play the 60 minutes. You kept alluding to that, and you mentioned at the very beginning, they didn't quite, they played, they were in it till the end, no question, but they didn't, I wouldn't quite say they played the full 60 minutes. They got off to a slow start. Their offense couldn't get on track to begin with, and at the end result, they were really relying on really some fourth quarter magic to make that happen. And then Carroll, conversely, on the other side, needed to run the football, and run it they did to the tune of probably their best outing of the season.
So both teams with their backup quarterbacks in play. Bakken and Gustafson both did a pretty good job keeping their teams in it. 28-14 the final. One more break. Stay with us, folks. We'll be back.
We'll have to see if there's stats.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic, or go to conlons.com.
There are some things in life that require, demand something special.
These are the times when you must seek a steak that is truly worthy of the accomplishment at hand. And when no mere steak will do, the Silver Star Steak Company has your back. They use only the best certified Angus beef, delicately prepared with as much love as your occasion deserves.
When you deserve the best, the Silver Star Steak Company has a steak worthy of you.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too. Out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, we believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put him to work.
When traveling through Montana's capital city, make your lodging destination the Comfort Suites in Helena, Montana. We are centrally located on I-15 and US Highway 12 and close to the midway point between Yellowstone and Glacier National Parks. A full day of adventures means starting the day off right with a complimentary hot and delicious breakfast. Spacious guest rooms, internet access, business center, indoor pool and fitness center, and much more. Call us at 406-495-0505 or visit us online at comfortsuiteshelena.com.
Final score here at Nelson Stadium, 28-14. Carroll with the win. Those 3 fourth quarter turnovers really set the stage for the Fighting Saints. You look at some of the individual stats, Sean, and Jacob Bakken for the Battling Bears, their leading rusher with 99 yards.
Yeah, no question about it. The man from Weibo, 6'5", 205, soaking wet. And when he gets out and runs, now a lot of them weren't designed, but he extended plays and was able to run the football down the field, really kept him in it. to at least have that last chance gasp here towards the end.
Jace Van Zee had a huge day for Rocky. 12 catches, 108 yards. He did have that fumble, unfortunately, on the punt. Bakken through the air, 22 of 42. The 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter. Tanner Gustafson for Carroll, 7 of 14. 86 yards, but he did have the 1 touchdown to Connor Phone. Connor Phone continues to just have a fantastic year. 5 catches for 69 yards and the touchdown. And Carroll, perhaps more importantly, too, Sean, they get over 200 yards rushing.
Yeah, coming in averaging just less than 100. We mentioned that as one of the key stats and a hallmark of the Carroll College offense. They did it today. They doubled up their rushing number on the year. Still probably not satisfied with it, but over 205 on 44 carries. And the second leading rusher is Gustafson, your quarterback, on designed run plays.
So again, your final 28-14. Carroll improves to 3-4 on the year. Rocky drops to 4-4. Their next game, they are at home against Montana Tech. And Carroll also home here at Nelson Stadium, taking on MSU Northern. So for our entire crew and Sean Kraft, I'm Peter Young. Thanks again for watching us, and we'll see you down the road, folks. So long.
Truck Month. Time to see all the way.